What do we got?
We're professional now.
Are you ready to do this?
I am so ready to do this.
Got my bitchin' wristband, extra tight, crushed a Red Bull, myself Tanner's on, and my last bottle.
It's Monday morning, everybody. It's Collider Live, and the sweet sounding sensation of Josh McCouga taking us in on a Monday morning with the douchebag anthem. I'm loving it. Hello, everybody. It is Monday morning, Collider Live. What a weekend we all had, I assume. Assume you did too, and welcome back. And Roxy Striar is here. How are you, Roxy?
You were right. That assumption didn't make an ass out of you or me.
You had a good weekend?
Well, it was a weekend.
Yeah, just one.
What do you mean?
Just one of many weekends.
Yeah. Well, can you have two in a row?
You had 2 weekends in a row, yeah. Last weekend and then this weekend.
No. It was a week. It was a long weekend.
It was a long weekend. How about you, Mr. Mark Reilly? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. It was a very long weekend.
Yeah.
A good weekend. Very good weekend.
I had a very productive yesterday. I got yelled at regarding my shopping and how terrible my grocery shopping skills are, apparently.
The wife yelled at you?
Listen, I go to the supermarket for peace. I put on headphones. I walk around the fucking thing. I know where I've maneuvered so it takes, my wife can get in and out of a supermarket, everything that we have to do in like 40 minutes. It takes me about an hour and 15.
Solo?
Right? Yeah, because I'm on my headphones and I'm going through stuff and it's peaceful. She's making shepherd's pie, right? So
delicious.
It's really good, by the way.
Yes.
But the Worcester sauce, she forgets it.
Oh boy.
So now it's on me to speed up my shit and that's my fault. And so I'm talking to the colonel and it's abort the mission, get out of there. And I'm like, but I haven't gotten anything. There's definitely a lot of stuff on this list I haven't got. It's fine, I'll get it later. Then I get home. Well, where's the all? Where's this? Where's that? You fucking told me to get out of there. And then this whole conversation goes in about how bad my shopping skills are. But I'm like, look, I love to just sit there and relax. Is that the wrong thing to do?
100%.
Why?
I literally could not be less on your side in this situation.
You think I should do it fast?
I mean, it's get it done and do it right.
I did.
No, you didn't.
But I should have.
Where's the all?
But again, I made the point. I said, listen, I have only X amount in the cart right now. If I get out of here now,
if you
I'm
had done your job initially,
I didn't get the broccoli.
You wouldn't have only had X amount, but you were taking your time.
Yeah, were you lollygagging?
No, it wasn't a lot. I take my time as I'm walking through the fucking store.
It's your cathartic time,
yes.
Right? You're walking around, you're relaxing, you're away from the home. It's not that you want to be.
No.
You have some music or podcast.
It depends. Yesterday
depends
was podcast.
on the mood.
I was listening to the Schmodown Rundown.
I don't understand. I want to go in and out as fast as possible. I don't like shopping at the supermarket. Julie lollygags. Yeah. She's like wandering around looking at the lights at sometimes.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So I can understand both sides.
An hour and 15 minutes, you're lollygagging.
Hour and 10, it wasn't. Look, the line was really long.
How much did you, what's the list like? That long?
It was double-sided.
Double-sided. So you got a lot to do.
It was an hour 10, and there was this. And by the way, so this one guy doesn't help my cause. I'm on the line, and this guy comes up in the middle, like this. The lady's about to get all her stuff done, and now I go in, and right as I go in, this guy pops in, and he goes to the poor guy that's working there, and he goes, "Hey, so I'm looking for this like vinegar drink." And, it's like called Kabibaba. So where do I find that? Because I don't know what that is. He's like, did you check down the vinegar? Yeah, but it should be refrigerated. He goes, did you check the refrigerator? All right. Walks over. Comes back. They had it. Good. Why didn't you fucking look for it in the first place over there? And then for some reason, he takes my line. Always I'm on the shit line that someone always takes, right? And then the guy pops over. He's like, where do I get the popcorn? The guy said, well, you want the self-made popcorn or
Jiffy Pop,
whatever. And he's like, I want to make it myself. He's like, well, then that's down that aisle. All right. Fucking guy comes back and goes, where do I sprinkle the toppings on the popcorn? Same fucking aisle.
Kristian, it sounds like 30 seconds. You can't blame it on that guy. Like, he's annoying, but that was not why you were late.
It was at least 2 minutes.
Yeah. So you were 2 minutes later.
I'm telling you, the traffic wasn't great.
We had a woman in front of us one time yelled and screamed that she couldn't find the napkins. And then they got the guy to go get the napkins for her. And she said, get the cheapest kind of napkins.
Right. And she didn't apologize.
She didn't apologize. And Julie and me, we're sitting there like, we have a bottle of wine, we have some dessert. That's it.
Right.
We want
Why
to get
didn't you go in
and
the
out.
under 10 line?
That we were in the under 10 line.
Right.
And that this woman, though,
Wow.
couldn't find the napkins. Comes back, here's some napkins. She goes, these aren't the cheapest ones.
No, people have
Sends them back.
Yeah.
This is 20 minutes.
Right.
And this is at 11 o'clock at night.
People get pissed off too. Last week I was there. This lady starts screaming at the people for bagging her groceries the wrong way, and they didn't have what she wanted. It's like, be a human being to people. I'm telling you,
Entitlement,
people.
sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, I got home late, and only because I was there and I had everything. I had everything set to go. But this was the conversation. Then guess what else? My wife goes to a store right beforehand because she needed to get this stuff for the food. And so the LaCroix conversation comes up. Right now, she's addicted to LaCroix also. And I said, get the LaCroix at Bristol. They got better flavors. I said, get me the ones I like. I like coconut and I like apricot. Get me those two. And get yourself, whatever you want to get. So,
Ugh, to those flavors, Kristian.
But listen, so she gets me those flavors. She says they're in her car. I go, oh, well, she already got all the LaCroix, so I'm not getting any. So I don't get any LaCroix because that's literally what I said to her. And she's, you didn't get me any LaCroix? I'm like, what? You got everything at Bristol. She's like, I only got apricot and coconut. I don't drink that shit. And I'm like, well, she's in a fucking mood yesterday. So
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So that was it. That was my
So
day.
you wanted her to get you apricot and coconut, and
Coconut.
she wanted you to get her
Other
a different
flavors.
flavor.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make quite sense.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're getting the
Yeah, for that one. So
LaCroix,
you're on
yeah.
her side for the rest
Well,
of the stuff.
I'm always on her side, period.
Right.
But in this specific situation, I could see where you're coming from.
Fine. And the squirrels and cats are still back.
Yeah, what's happening with the squirrels?
So I told you about the mountain lion cat, right? So but the squirrels and I have been going through our wars for like 2 or 3 years since like schmoes, right?
Yeah.
The same fucking squirrel. Like there's a leader of the squirrel. And he's got like a call now.
One leader?
There's a leader. He sits there and he's
It's
in
an animated movie waiting to happen.
He's in the
Yeah.
back, and I can hear him. And I go, that's his fucking war cry. I can hear it every time, right? And then because one of these little pricks come running around, right? And my daughter's like shooting like this water thing she has at them, and it's a full-fledged like battle between the families.
Did you teach her to do that, or she just...
She just knows that I don't like the squirrels, and so she goes after the squirrels now. But we buy these pumpkins for Halloween, right? So I'm right on the doorstep, and my wife wakes up, and she's like, son of a bitch, those squirrels. I got into one of the pumpkins, right? But this is what I'm going to ask you guys, because I want to know what you guys think, because I have not come to a conclusion yet. So yesterday, I see that fucking mountain lion cat. It's a big fat cat, but
Yeah.
it's walking towards the pumpkins. So I'm like, is it the cat that's doing it? Or was the cat looking to kill the squirrel? Is the cat my friend, or is the cat a douche?
Hard to tell.
I
need more evidence.
I know.
Definitely the cat is not your friend. It might have ulterior motives,
Yeah.
but it's not your friend. We've already learned that. The cat's nobody's friend.
Yeah, cat
the
does
cat's
not-
a lone wolf.
I
Cat
have an
almost fucked
idea.
up that other cat,
I
too.
think I
Yeah.
can help.
What do you got?
Because I did this 2 weeks ago. So there's these fucking pigeons that have been perching on the inside of our apartment complex.
And they're stupid, those pigeons.
And they're stupid, and they sit there and they shit, and I want to get them out of here. So I launched my drone, and I chase them off. I can launch my drone and chase off these squirrels.
Does it have a camera?
It has a camera. I
So-
can film the whole
Dude,
thing.
these squirrels, I'm telling you, these squirrels have an agenda.
Why don't you set up a nanny cam?
And do what?
Well, now we'll know what they're doing.
Confirm they're pricks.
No comment on the drone. I'm just offering to help.
Yeah, I know.
like,
That's
do you want me
fine.
to like go right at them? We can film it. It'd be really
they're
fun.
not scared of anything. These
They'll
squirrels.
be scared of this
They're
drone.
not scared. Like the cat, when I
The
bang
thing
on the
when-
window,
when these things see this drone, they go crazy. The birds
the
were
birds,
like, fuck.
the birds are dumb as shit.
Yeah.
These squirrels, I'm telling you, these are like mutant squirrels.
You know how flies, what it's like 24 hours is their life? That's the average fly life.
how long's
What's a
squirrels?
squirrel?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
how long's a squirrel
What's
live?
the average life of a squirrel? And because I only out of the year I've been the 2 years I've been in war with these squirrels, I've only seen one dead one.
You saw it dead?
One of the
Like roadkill, or it was just dead?
Yeah, I think someone
Old
ran
age.
over it. Like like it was. I saw it like underneath a tire. I don't think someone ran over it. Someone ran over one. Yeah,
10 years?
10 years. I got to deal with these fucking pricks for 10 years.
Surpassed 10 years. Oh, no,
20.
no.
You
Generally
have to
only
deal with
between
them.
11 and 12 months,
They're
but
terrible.
some of them past 10
Yeah.
years.
They definitely.
That's too long.
They're I hate them.
That's longer than a lot of dogs.
But you'll be proud of me, Roxy. I finished Ozark.
I am very proud of you. What'd you
Done
think?
here too.
Liked it. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I had a couple issues with the ending.
With the actual last scene, or
A couple things that happened in the ending, but for the most part, I loved the season. I think I might even like season 2 better than 1.
I like season 2 better
Yeah.
than 1 for sure.
me too.
But
I
did you
love
finish?
the ending. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I just have some questions about, but I think that they can, and there's nothing that you can do about this. But that kid aged like 2 years.
Yeah, he
within,
did.
You can't. What can you do about
Yeah.
that?
The
It's
youngest
hard.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't a series finale, so we're fine. Whatever
No.
questions you have.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that can happen. I think that I loved the season. It's one of my favorites. And the other thing my wife did get back on board with. We had this conversation last week that we started watching is the Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
show
I
is
haven't.
good, man.
I haven't seen it.
It's a good show.
I hear.
It's the best. It's the best. Is that because of the Emmys?
No. We wanted to find another show, and when we said when Ozark was over, we're like, "Would you want to give Maisel another shot?" And maybe it might be because it's the recognition and everything too. But we were like, "No, let's just try to give it a shot again." And we did because we were already like 3 or 4 episodes in, and we got back into it and picked right back up. And it gets so much better as it keeps going, and the set design on that show is some of the best I've ever seen. It looks like you're right in the 50s.
Yeah, I agree. What do you do when you have started a show, you stop the show, you're restarting the show, you start from the beginning?
No, because I think that we
New enough.
Yeah, and it wasn't too far. It wasn't that long ago that we watched the first couple, so we were pretty fresh into knowing everything that was going on. Yeah, so we didn't miss anything.
I finished True Detective season 1 finally.
And
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was better than I thought it was going to be the first few episodes, but I still think it's slightly overrated. I'm surprised with all
loved
of
it.
the hype around it. Did you watch it?
Which one again?
True Detective season 1?
No, I have. No, I have not seen any of the True Detectives.
Yeah,
I want to
it's
see.
good. It's definitely good.
I definitely want to watch season 1 now because Fukunaga is going to direct.
you didn't see season 1? Oh, it's really good.
I know.
Season 2 you can stay away from.
Yeah, I think I'm going to skip it and then
I've
go
heard
to...
season 2 is not good, and then people are underwhelmed with the season 3 trailer. I
I didn't even
guess.
see the trailer.
I saw it. It looked good.
Yeah,
Look good?
It looks
Yeah.
decent.
You watching Vandals? Is that what you're
Yeah,
watching?
American Vandal
People love this
season
thing.
2.
What the hell is it?
I haven't
It
started
is
it.
incredible.
Is
I
it
didn't
funny?
think. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's basically.
It's a comedy?
It's a satire on true crime documentaries.
Oh, I see.
So when you look at season 1, it's about who drew the dick.
Oh, yeah. That's
Okay,
what we're about
and
to
then
see.
the guy who did
Sorry,
it.
what did you just say?
Are you unfamiliar with American Vandal?
Yeah.
So-
Who drew the dick?
Yes. So it takes place in a high school. This is season 1, right?
Okay.
And somebody draws a bunch of dicks on all the cars.
This is why all those penis magnets were going around forever
Probably.
that said American Vandal on
And
them.
so then a documentary crew tries to find out who wrote the dick, and all evidence points to this dude who's been drawing
Don't spoil
dicks for
anything.
years.
Don't spoil
right?
anything.
And then they start going into their recreating like true crime stuff on like, well, if he was here at this time and he drew this dick. Then they're taking like past dick pics of what he drew in like Mrs. Smith's 3rd grade class. Like he drew this dick. See, the balls are not as big as the ones on this. And then they break it down. It is
Like a
incredible.
science.
Right.
Yes, it's incredible. The characters, everything.
Yeah,
the
people
whodunit.
love it.
Maybe I'm
Season
in.
2
Yeah, people love it.
is Who is the Turd Burglar. It's
Is it
fucking
really?
incredible.
All right. Is
really
this
good.
Netflix?
It's incredible. Yes.
Kristian, I'll get on your schedule. You tell me when we're watching, and
You
then
get on my
I'll
schedule?
get on your schedule.
Okay, good.
Because
You're not
you're
gonna
slow
sleep.
as shit.
I want to
You're not
talk
gonna
about
sleep.
this.
Quick plug.
Do you think I sleep?
How many hours do you sleep at night?
I'm gonna say 2, maybe
You're full
3.
of shit.
I've been
Why?
in the hospital for 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
I literally
All right.
am sleeping none.
Normally, what do you? How much you sleep? This is-
5.
Is that true? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
you
Why
can,
are you so
you can
shitty at
ask
sleeping?
Ben. I am bad at it.
Yeah.
Bad at
Yeah,
sleeping?
I'm bad at
Do you
it.
wake? Are you like a? My wife's like a war vet. You walk into the room, she wakes up.
No, I'm not. It's not that I'm a light sleeper. It's that I cannot fall asleep. Like we're talking 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, till finally I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm
it.
just gonna do it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I
I
love
A lot of
sleep.
Xanax, a lot
I
of
don't
weed.
sleep.
You don't sleep either.
5 hours average because
Yeah.
of my restless leg.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I have that too.
I'm used to it now. It's
Yeah.
like my body wakes me up every morning, pretty much the same time, same on weekends. I got some good sleep this weekend though.
I
You know
hate
why?
that about the weekends.
Edibles.
Edible
Did
sleep.
the edibles,
I'm
and
just
it
counting.
finally,
It
and I'm
works,
like,
huh?
okay, I think I need to switch to the edibles now.
Yeah.
You know, I was high last night, and
Nice.
I tweeted out saying, "Thank you so much." If I'm going to
So
get
brave.
applause for that,
So
then you should
brave.
clap for me all the time. I am so brave. And I tweeted out saying, like, I feel really bad for anybody who doesn't smoke weed. And I've gotten a lot of hate today. Like, I woke up to, like, a ton of hate. Like, you're not a good role model.
The eating people and telling people to get into fights didn't
This is what I just said.
that?
This is what I just said to Ryan outside because he was like, I can't believe how much hate you got for that. I told everybody if you're under 22, you're a little bitch if you don't fight.
Right.
But I'm a fucking role model?
Right. Who says you're a role model?
What is that? And they're like, I'm not going to have my kid follow you anymore, unfollow or whatever. And then some people are like, this causes cancer, right? You're trying to tell people to get cancer. It's like, first of all, suck my dick. Second of all, educate yourself.
Fuck yeah.
Educate yourself.
Like, easy.
Or are you kidding me? It's mind-blowing to me that still in 2018, people are posting pictures of them chugging beers. But if you say something about weed, they're like, you're trying to kill America.
Right.
Fuck off.
Right. Listen, people it's very set in their particular ways of the way they. People don't like to change. People don't like the. I mean, when there is information out there, still, no. There's been no evidence of cancer coming from marijuana at all.
There's been evidence of cancer becoming better from marijuana.
What was the tweet?
I just said that I feel bad for people who don't smoke weed. And I do feel bad for people who don't smoke weed.
Who can't get, you're bringing up her Twitter? Let's see it. How many? Something went wrong. Twitter doesn't want us to look at it. And then the other thing I was going to ask you though too, Reilly. So there's been tons this weekend. I saw tons of images and video now of the Joker. I mean, there's
It's all over.
Let me see some of these responses. Hold on. I truly be. Yeah.
The people who
you came in hot on that
because it's just so amazing. It helps with my stomach pain. It helps with my headaches. It helps with my joint pain. It makes me smile and allows me to sleep. It's just the best.
I agree. I agree with myself.
Yeah, you agree with yourself.
I said that, and I agree.
Yeah. So.
But the people who blocked me now. Their responses aren't there
Hector
anymore.
Navarro, I'm all right. I got comics, which is great. That's good.
Do you really think Hector doesn't smoke though? And then Dorian said that he didn't.
Bullshit.
But then I called him out.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, keep going.
I truly feel bad for people in Flint, Michigan that don't have clean water to drink.
I had a
like,
family friend from Mississippi this weekend, and the first thing she asked me was, "Where can I go to get? I need edibles."
Not your best tweet. Let's see. Yeah.
And edibles are a great solution.
You can smoke weed and not tell everyone about it. Why? It's legal.
Smoke weed
every day. Do you think every time I smoke weed, I tweet it out? No, but like...
I'm pretty dead inside. I like that one. It's good. Don't feel bad for me. I have clear lungs. Oh, okay, I don't want to...
Yeah, and then it gets really sad.
Yeah, it gets real. Weed. Yeah, thank you.
There it is.
All right.
Oh, yeah, because you're like the queen of weed. What? Yeah. What the fuck's that?
I mean, I don't know if I necessarily feel bad for people who don't smoke, but I understand, like,
edibles.
Yeah.
Edibles.
There it is. Smoke weed every day.
Yeah.
There we go.
People went in.
All right, listen. So let's talk about this Joker stuff.
Yeah.
Because I like what I'm seeing so far. I like the scene. I liked when he walked out of the train and the goofy face that he had when he walked out of there too. I'm loving the images so far, I'm very curious to what Todd Phillips' approach is going to be here too. I'm digging this look though.
Me too.
It's like a mixture. It's like a mixture of Cesar Romero meets Heath Ledger. It's the same kind of.
That's a good way to put it.
The same hair, but it's like it's simple face paint.
Yeah,
and I dig that. I like that.
That's why I like it too.
Yeah, do you like what you're seeing so far?
I like what I'm seeing. I was trying to figure out why when it first broke, where I was just like.
Really?
Yeah, it first broke, and I was like, okay. And then the more I saw of it, the more it grew on me, and I realized why. It's because we have seen so many of these first looks at Joker.
Yeah.
Joker must be the only villain out there in movies that gets like a reiteration every 5 years. It's like, and somebody put out there.
5 years. We just had Leto.
Right.
Even sooner.
2 years ago? A year ago?
But somebody put out a picture, it's like, Cesar Romero next to Jack Nicholson, next to Heath Ledger, next to Jared Leto, and now this.
Right.
And I'm like, it's a lot of Jokers. And so the proof is in the pudding is in action in the movie. So while I was like, yeah, you're right, I got to just maybe, I can't wait to see the performance. And then the train stuff drops. And then that stuff drops, and I see him walk out going all like this. I'm like, yeah.
And the funny thing is, too, there's two things that I wanted to ask you guys. The first is, when you look in the background, you see like he's got like his henchmen who are dressed up like clowns, too. Yeah. I immediately think of 1989's Batman. Mm-hmm. Immediately.
See, I thought of Dark Knight.
Did you? They were all dressed up as Joker, though.
They all had Joker masks on at the very beginning of the Dark Knight.
That wasn't a Joker mask. That was just kind of
Clown mask.
They had clown masks.
That was a clown
You're talking
mask.
about during the heist scene within the bank robbery?
Yeah,
It reminded me of that.
I guess it's kind of true, but I think it's just the way that it just looks a little sillier. What?
What do you mean it's kind of? He says it reminds me of that. You're like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It reminds him of it.
I'm like, at the beginning of the heist,
can't just say
they
it
wear
doesn't
clown
remind-
masks.
That reminds me, but it's like I didn't.
It doesn't remind you that.
It doesn't remind you.
I'll
That.
go ahead and
That's not
hold
what-
on to my opinion and
That's not what.
put a stamp
That's
on it.
not what you're thinking of. You're thinking of.
am.
You're thinking of Willow.
Oh,
But
Willow.
no, what
yeah.
I meant was when I look at it, that particular scene, it just takes me to the way the kind of goofiness and of the way that he led his henchmen. But you're right. I think there is also something about the mixture of the Heath Ledger having the battle of his army kind of going in there and doing his will.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the other question I have for you guys is this: as I was thinking about it, could we, if this iteration of the Joker is super popular, because remember, Heath Ledger's Joker was supposed to come back in The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
If this Joker becomes massive, and because it's not the same, what's it called? It's not the DCEU. What is it called now?
The world's a DC.
World's a DC.
Fine.
Yeah.
The world's a DC, right? If this movie kind of transcends and goes over, and this is the more popular out of all the things that they have done, could they then start to build a new universe through
A new
this
Batman
movie?
universe?
That's what I mean. Like, could you introduce Batman the way that the Joker was introduced at the end of
Batman Begins.
Could Batman be introduced at the end of this one?
I love that. There's two ways I think about it. And when you look at Joaquin Phoenix, who didn't want to sign on for Doctor Strange because he didn't want to have multiple commitments.
Right.
And he knew it was a bad film.
Maybe he knew.
We'll talk
shit!
about
I
that
don't want
at
to. Yeah,
10:30.
we'll get
Yeah.
there. So I think about this now. He wanted an interesting story. He wanted an interesting character. Does he want to do multiple Joker movies? TBD. So, but I can see it happening.
Yeah.
And
What do
I'm
you
wondering,
think?
what would be the great twist? Is at the end of it, Matt Reeves' Batman shows up.
That would be cool. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do that. What is this?
I don't
David Ayer
think they
says, I like it. In my mind, it was meant for Batman after what is this for? What is this in reference to? We just brought that up for no reason?
No, he was talking about the damage tattoo right here on Jared Leto's.
Jared Leto.
He said, yes, I have to fall on that sword. It was one step too
All
far.
right, well, he took credit for it.
Yeah, and then he was commenting on how he looks in this new one.
I like it. In my mind, it was meant for Batman after he smashed Joker's teeth for killing Jason Todd. Some people.
I'm sorry. He's
Still
talking about
talking
the
about that.
Joker's like swag and like how he has like metal teeth and
Oh, I
whatnot.
see.
I actually like the metal teeth. I thought that's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah, this to me the version of Joaquin Phoenix is the kind of Joker that it was so. I mean, they took a shot with Jared Leto's Joker and made him different and wanted to make it so different from. He was following up Heath Ledger, so you want to make it so different. The benefit that Joaquin Phoenix has is that he's following up Jared Leto.
Yeah.
So
Who I think is gets a really bad rap, and we didn't see enough of him to hate him the way that we do.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily hate him. I just think that version was a bad. It was a bad version. It was a bad direction. Yeah, it's a bad.
You know what's
direction.
interesting is that the writers are talking about the Jared Leto and Harley Quinn movie, or the Joker Harley Quinn
Yeah.
movie, that they're still working on that.
That's why
right
I
now.
think that there's
Yes.
no way we could introduce a Batman into this movie, because we have, unless we're going to have two simultaneous Batmans, we have to have a Batman in the universe we've created now. If we, right now, Suicide Squad 2's a go, so that's from that universe. Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, there's a Batman in that universe. So
And the Harley Quinn.
and the
Joker
Harley
movie.
Quinn,
Yeah.
and Birds of Prey, then, and then eventually Gotham City
It's
Sirens.
confusing.
There's just too many. They're having two Batmans at once. Yikes! Yikes! Yikes!
This is what I wanted to throw out there. The writers are calling the Harley Quinn Joker movie Bad Santa mixed with This Is Us.
That sounds so stupid
I have
Bad Santa mixed with This Is Us.
for a Joker and Harley Quinn movie. Why?
I mean, look, I like that they did
Yikes.
Crazy Stupid Love. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. They
It's
wrote
an
it.
amazing movie. I love it.
Yeah, I like that movie too.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes when you're writing, I have those references in my head when I write. I go, yeah, it's this and this. But when you say it out loud sometimes, in your inspiration of like what you're trying to go, you say it outside of that. Sometimes, like me, I go, what?
The Bad Santa part makes sense. The This Is Us part makes me want to actually off myself.
But like Bad Santa, you got some hot takes today, kid.
Damn.
But Bad Santa mixed with
This Is Us?
No. But I'm saying Bad Santa mixed with I don't know, fucking The Crow. Or
Yeah,
something,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
something in more of two different type of references. Bad Santa mixed with This Is Us. I'm like, what movie is that with those two?
I don't even know what they're trying to get at
I
then.
don't know, but
Like the love story part of it, because then
Maybe.
because
well, that's what the Bad Santa element is going to be. The two.
So it's gonna be funny.
It's going to be funny and kind of heartfelt is what you would assume, but it's like I don't know. It's Jared Leto and Margot Robbie.
So
I
this
just
is
don't
where
care
I'm
about
at.
that
Yeah,
movie.
it's
I
like
care
when you
about
have
movie.
this.
I care about this.
Yes, that's where I'm going because you have this. You're interested in this.
Yeah.
You're like, how does it fit into? Is it going to fit in? Joaquin Phoenix, makeup looks great. Set footage looks great, and then these guys come out of nowhere. We're doing one too,
Right?
And I'm like, I can't follow along with all these Joker movies.
Yeah.
Because they're working on this and No Man of Steel 2.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of wild
it's
though
like stupid.
that after Suicide Squad, everybody was like, "We need a Margot Robbie standalone. Let's do Harley." And I feel like with that, it hasn't aged well. Not that people liked it initially, but now nobody's saying, "Where's our Harley Quinn movie?"
Right.
Nobody's asking for it right
Yeah.
now.
Well, so that's all the stuff going on in Joker. Today's going to be a fun show because we're going to have Jared Haibon's going to come in. And last week, Roxy talked about Doctor Strange and how much she loves it. And
That's mean.
Yeah. So she
You're
hates
mean.
it. I don't hate that movie at all. I actually really like it. But it happens to be one of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe she finds overrated. Yeah. So we started talking about we were going to do Marvel overrated movies for a couple of different episodes, but then breaking news just
All
kept
this
happening.
news.
We wanted to talk about more stuff and give us some time. But
Which could happen today too. We never know.
no, we're already set up. Jared Haibon's going to come in too. He's a big Marvel guy too. So we're going to get his take on on the ones that he doesn't think. But then his fiance Ashley I is going to come in here, and she's going to quiz the entire. I'm hoping McCook is done with sports talk because I really want him in here.
He's not going to be here.
He's not going to be here.
Yeah, he's got a jet.
Why?
Yeah.
Shoot.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
would have been fun. But she's going to grill all of us. Like really, she's got a bunch of podcasts that she's got going on net too. They dive deep, and we got into our relationship talk. And I think that we can all quiz ourselves and really try to figure out what's going on in your life, this and that. But when a stranger comes in that really knows that does this, right?
Yeah.
I think that we're going to learn a lot about each other here today
I love
in a
that.
scary way. And I want her to be able to get the lunatics in the asylum over there too. But is there any other news going on that we should get to? Anything worth a damn before
I
we?
mean, Kingsman 3.
Oh yeah,
It's been dated.
they're trying to the Bumblebee trailer.
Bumblebee trailer
Let's just
dropped.
talk about that.
Yeah.
So then this is something we could probably put on the podcast channel too. But the Bumblebee trailer dropped today. And I will tell you, Reilly and I watched this together. This is the movie, trailer-wise. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Right.
But from what we've seen from the trailer, is what I always wanted a Transformers movie to be. It's
Same.
that nostalgia feel off the 80s, the original designs, the voices. It's and there was a perfect scene. I know a lot of people like that first Transformers movie, and a lot of people do.
I like it too.
I don't like it. What are the main-
in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's
It's not great.
shit the bed from then on out for me.
But people love that, the first one. They like
Right.
that the best. My biggest issue with that is that so it's the way that you play into the character and the humor of it, where Optimus Prime is kind of goofing around, dancing around a house, and no one knows that he's there. The parents don't hear this big smashing robot, and Optimus Prime wasn't a goofball, right? So then go to this trailer. There's a scene where Bumblebee is by himself with just Haley Steinfeld in the house, kind of bumbling around.
Tries to go through the doggy
It tries
door.
to go through.
Fantastic.
It's perfect because there's no one in the damn house. He's trying to figure it out. It's like E.T. drinking the beer and
Yep.
moving around.
Sits
Like,
on the couch.
and he tries to figure it out.
It's Bumblebee's character to do that.
And he breaks some shit, and that's it. That's the kind of humor that I'm on board with. And then you see Starscream, not Starscream, excuse me, Soundwave. And then Shockwave. There's
Optimus
Prime,
making the
old
appearance.
school Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
This is just beautiful.
This movie looks awesome.
This is the movie that should have started
Yes.
the franchise.
Or maybe it
And I'm
does.
sorry, but
Oh,
I keep
Yeah.
going.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that. Go back
Oh,
to
it
that.
looks so
That's,
good.
that Soundwave.
God damn
That
it.
is so rad.
I can't wait to hear
That
him
is
talk.
so rad.
Yep.
This is
Fuck.
how you should do it, but you can tell.
Oh my God!
It looks so good.
Look
Did you
at
not
that.
want to see this, Cobbster?
No, I do now because
Okay.
that looks
This is
beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah, it
this
looks
is, but see, already though, this is great. This is
Yeah.
the eye candy. This is the nostalgia candy for me.
That's
but
Cybertron too, isn't it?
this dog and his boy kind of story that I love, but that it's already honing in on character and heart And you can see that from the trailer that you could never get from any of the Bay Transformer movies.
You just captioned a photo of that too. What is this dog and its boy thing that you keep saying?
Oh, boy, it's boy and his dog.
Yeah.
A girl and its dog in this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean. The stories.
Yeah.
E.T. is a boy and his dog. How to Train Your Dragon is a boy and his dog.
But not a dog and its boy.
It's a dog and his boy. It's a fun play on words, Roxy.
Is that RB3 in there?
It's a fun play on
No,
words.
he's on his way, but that was my
But you
guess.
should
You
get
saw my
along so
picture,
well.
right? A dog. He's running the show, and his boy, me.
I haven't seen this trailer yet.
It's incredible.
That. So good. Talking about a robot and his dog. Look, that's old school Optimus. I mean, that's the Optimus I remember. Look at this.
It does look awesome from just.
It looks. It's so good.
I
It is-
cannot wait for this
it's
movie
like
now.
Mac and me. It is
I
absolutely.
never thought I'd be this excited over the Bumblebee movie.
Because Travis Knight did a good job with Kubo.
Kubo's fantastic.
And I think that if he can put this raw emotion inside of this, plus playing, he went. Listen, this guy is an absolute '80s Transformers fan, and I'll tell you why. He at the Comic-Con panel, right? He had Stan Bush open up the damn panel.
Yep.
And Stan, I think it was Dare that he was either Dare or no, it was You Got the Touch. It was You Got the Touch that he played. If he plays You Got the Touch during this movie, I'm going to lose it. And then and it's not a
In a good way? You're gonna lose it?
Oh yeah, it's not a coincidence
100%
that
they're
they're
gonna
actually
play it.
releasing the 1986 movie on Thursday for one night only.
Yep.
I'm supposed to go, I just can't do it. But yeah, I'm excited for Bumblebee. Do you give a shit?
Yeah, definitely. I don't dislike the Transformer movies as much as everybody else does. And I really like the first one. And this is awesome. I think she's amazing, too. I Just 17 was one of my favorite movies of the past few years. And she kind of looks like Rooney Mara in this trailer. Don't you guys think? Younger.
I could see it.
Rooney Mara.
I could see it.
I think she's going to be a star. Like a massive. She already is a star, but
Even more so, yeah. Well, this could be a big movie. All right, listen, we're going to go to break. And when we do, Jared Haibon is going to join us, and we're going to talk about overrated Marvel movies. Start chiming in right now. Hashtag Collider Live, and go to Twitter, and Mark Reilly will check out some of the ones that you guys think, and in the comments section on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook on the Schmoville group, go ahead and leave your comments and say which Marvel movies do you have an issue with that you just don't think are as good as everyone says they are. All right, after the break, Collider Live.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. Rule of Two is a Star Wars podcast hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. It drops on the Jedi Council podcast feed every Tuesday. You like Star Wars? Good. I like Star Wars. And you know what we do? We talk Star Wars. And not only talking Star Wars, we celebrate Star Wars. We gave the Golden Lightsabers the best in Star Wars, best picture, best opening theme, best crawl, and all that good stuff. We celebrate the games of Star Wars. We do everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of debate and a lot of discussion thrown in the middle. So make sure you check out Rule of Two every Tuesday on the Collider Jedi Council podcast feed, on iTunes, and later on Collider Video Podcast Network. That's Rule of Two with Reilly and Mark Fernandez every Tuesday. And may the Force be with you.
Hey everyone, Mark Ellis here. You know, when I'm not trying to clone dinosaurs or drinking at my neighborhood watering hole, I am probably hosting Collider Movie Talk. It's a flagship show here at Collider. I like to say that because I'm the host of it. It's every day, almost. It's 4 days a week, which is still pretty good, above 50%. You can watch it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 4 p.m. Los Angeles time is when we do it. It's live, so you can participate in the live chat room. Go ahead and give us your thoughts on every story we have coming because it's all the latest movie news of the day. Who did what at the box office? What horrible Redbox movies Bruce Willis signed on to? The DC, the Marvel, the Star Warses, the Lord of the Rings. Are they making new? I think it's a TV show, and we still might talk about it anyway because we love movies around here. It's myself and an expert panel of guests, including John Roca, Perry Nemiroff, Jeff Snyder, and other noted noters of note. You guys are going to love this show, and then we take your live Twitter questions at the end of the show at Collider Video. You can always use the hashtag Collider Movie Talk to get in touch with us, so subscribe right here to Collider Video. Check out Movie Talk, and check out the Collider Movie Talk podcast feed. We have a podcast feed now. You don't have to look at this handsomeness. You can just listen to it, whether you're driving to work, whether you're driving from work, or you don't have a job, but you have a basement and ears. listeners, you can listen to Collider Movie Talks feed. You can get it at Apple Podcasts or on iTunes. You also get Mailbag. That's the show that's hosted by Perry Nemiroff a lot more professionally than I run this pirate ship. That's our weekend show where she takes your letters. I don't know if you write them or you email them. You have to ask her. And Afterthoughts, hosted by Ryan Snelling and Jay Williams. I almost said Ryan Williams and Jay Snelling. Would anybody have known the difference? I certainly would. I would have felt bad about it because I'm a nice person, and that's why I host Collider Movie Talk. Check it out in video form or on our podcast feed.
Hi there. I see that you're enjoying Collider Live. After this show, why not check out Collider Games, where we play, well, games. We review games, we talk about things, anything that's going on in the gaming world, our opinions, news, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. If you like it, stick around and subscribe.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, one of the hosts for Collider Sports Time. That's our new show there on the Collider Sports Network. It's our flagship show, just like Collider Movie Talk. We get on, talk about a bunch of sports issues of the day and what is burning up social media, what topics are burning up social media. That's what we do on Collider Sports Time. I'm joined by my top 10 co-host, Matt Nost. Me and him, we welcome a bevy of guests every week to talk about NFL, the Major League Baseball playoffs, NHL, and the NBA, which is starting up soon. We're going to talk about that. We also get into UFC stuff, college football, all the stuff that's happening in the world of sports. We're going to cover it on Collider Sports Time. And we're going to take the time to break it all down and give our opinions and our unique takes and unfiltered thoughts on what we think about the sports news of the day. So don't forget to join us every week on Monday for the Collider Sports Time show on the Collider Sports Network. And don't forget to subscribe on the Collider Sports Network on YouTube and on the Collider Sports podcast feed. We're going to bring you all kinds of stuff. Hope to hear from you soon.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Movie Mance, and just to let you know, if you already don't, every Friday here on Collider Video, I host a weekly film review series called Movie Review Talk. The title says it all. Every week I'm joined by two guest critics of my choice, and they're never the same. We review the new films. We pick something that's streaming that you might not know about, but is really great. And we pick a Blu-ray for something that you might have missed in theaters. It is fun. It is infectious. It is the Citizen Kane of movie review shows, and it's only right here on Collider with this guy, Scott Movie Mance, Mr. Movie Release Dates himself. Check it out every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, only on Collider Video.
And we're back. It is Collider Live, and it is Monday, not Tuesday. I was about to say Tuesday, but that would be a lie. Tuesday, I'm actually going to be upset about. I'll tell you why in a second. Joining us at the table today, he is friend of the show. He is a Schmodown competitor, but a buddy of ours, and it is Mr. Jared Haibon. Hello, Jared.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks
How
for
you
having
doing,
me
man? Nice to
again.
have you back.
Oh, it's always a pleasure being here. You kidding me?
Thanks for wearing your hat. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Go
Son of a
Sox.
bitch.
The Patriots yesterday, man, we looked like ass.
Yeah, it was bad. You a Pats fan?
Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
she's from.
Oh,
That's where she's from.
that's right. I'm
Yeah.
losing my mind. Yeah, it was pretty bad last
Are
night.
you kidding? It's like the most offensive thing you can ask of
I know,
us, Cody.
You know what the worst part about it is that like you just know what exactly is wrong with the team. For me personally, it's Brady not buying into what Belichick's selling anymore, and now everything below Brady is just crumbling. Like even Gronkowski last night was
I
like,
know.
"No, yeah, the trade rumors are correct."
Yeah.
You're like that never
Yeah.
happens in
Well,
Foxborough.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
talks about trade
Yeah,
rumors.
And
Mike's
even
not working right.
Belichick after his after speech was like so defeated. He's like, I mean, we just didn't play well. Like no part of it was good. So you know, there's that. It's like, oof.
Yeah, well, the Giants won, so that helps. All right, so yeah, but, you know what bums me out about tomorrow is we have Tommy Wiseau coming in tomorrow with
Great.
That's
Greg
awesome.
Sestero.
Greg.
Yeah, and
That bums you out?
Yeah, bums out because I have to leave after the first hour. I'm going to do. I mean, it's for a good thing. I'm going to interview Bobby Moynihan and Donald Faison tomorrow for the new Star Wars series, Resistance.
awesome.
So I'm going there, and we can put the interviews for that on this show. We'll put it on Jedi Council, but it means that I'm going to miss. And I was with my wife last night telling her, she's just like, you can't miss that. I'm like, yeah, but I got to. She understood once I told her it was Faison and Bobby Moynihan, but still
Priorities.
I'm bummed.
Yeah.
All right, so Jared's here today because we are going to be talking about underrated. Excuse me. See, Reilly messed me up. Overrated
My bad.
Marvel movies. Yeah, thank you. There's been so many movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not old Marvel movies. not X-Men movies, just the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
So there have been so many movies that have come out, and there are movies
How
that I'm
many
sure.
are we on?
This is
How many do we think we got?
11, 12.
21, I think.
21.
Yeah.
Wow. So
21?
21 movies.
21?
In
Since
10 years.
2010.
Just like my
Yeah, 10
age.
years. So
That's pretty damn
that makes
good.
sense. All right, let's get into it. What happened? What'd you do? What'd you do?
It's for the guys. I made a joke. Nobody laughed, so I myself because they say I laugh at myself all the time.
Well, because this all stemmed, Jared, from last week's conversation. we were getting into I don't even know how it came up, but Doctor Strange came up, and Roxy hates Doctor Strange, and thinks that it's overrated and doesn't like it at all. And it was like, you know what? Let's get into a overrated Marvel Cinematic Universe conversation. And Reilly, have you seen? So, what are some of the comments that the audience is saying, and maybe we can start with one of those.
Yeah, this is a big one for me. Top 5 most overrated.
Yeah.
Number 1, Civil War. Number 2, Guardians, the first one.
Wow, I can't
Number
stand this
3,
person.
Infinity War. Number 4, Doctor Strange. And number 5, Avengers. Underrated, Incredible Hulk.
I agree with that.
That's a
that was my
list
number one.
that I'm shocked at.
Yeah, I love Incredible
that they consider it.
Civil War #1?
Yeah,
Civil War to
War's
me.
the
Infinity
best.
War in there,
I-
Guardians number 1. I
No,
mean,
all
to
those
each their
movies,
own.
all those movies that I disagree with that person completely.
Yeah.
I loved.
I
Actually,
do too, but it's a good conversation.
It's a great
you know?
conversation. There's none of those that I feel are overrated. I feel that Civil War is in the top 5 for sure, of the best ones. I think the Infinity War is one of the best ones. I agree with him on an underrated. I love the Incredible Hulk. But,
Same.
But
I do too.
Jerry, let's start with you. Give me your first overrated pick and why.
Well, to be fair, full disclosure, I thought we were coming in doing underrated movies because I was going to do The Incredible Hulk, or I was actually going to either argue our Ultron because I feel like that's an underrated movie. Nobody talks about that. Overrated? I'd say it's hard because it hasn't really aged yet, but I got to go Infinity War. I really like Infinity War. I didn't love Infinity War.
How many times have you seen it?
3.
That's enough.
Yeah.
But I think as time goes on, like my opinion changes about movies. Listen, I get it that this is more like Infinity War is more part of like a long television show. Like I get it. It's 10 years of Marvel. There's 21, 22 films, but it just as a movie on its own, I was like, yeah, it was really good. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of over the top CGI, which is fine. It's a Marvel movie. I get it. But there wasn't really that much character development, and I get it. We've already had these people, but it was just like jumping from scene to scene to scene and character. And like the first 45 minutes, it was like, okay, here's Strange, here's Iron Man, and then Captain America, and here's the little storyline between Scarlet Witch and Vision, and like it's just like all these little storylines that was just very overwhelming. And by the time it got to the end, I was like, okay,
You're done.
Whew, here we go. Yeah, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now.
I think that you explained why well, but it's funny. It actually sits as number 1 for me on all.
Number 1 overrated?
No, number
just
one
number
in general. It's my Civil War, not Civil War. Winter Soldier was my favorite for a very long time, and after my 3rd viewing of Infinity War is when I said this is. I think because of what it's starting and what it's setting up and what it has and the stakes, and it also because of showing me how important all these movies were and how invested I was all the way through. That this was the end. I like when movies have an end game. Or when things have an end game, when franchises have an end game, and this was the end game. This was always set up that it was going there and watching this happen and how this impossible task of getting all these mega movie stars and all these mega characters into one movie and making us care about all their little side stories and making us care about where they were going, and they pulled that off. And the music, Alan Silvestri's score, I love this movie, but I gotta understand that because you're not saying you dislike it. And what I'll do is the movie that I dislike, I think everybody knows that I think is completely overrated is Guardians Volume 2. It's
Same.
It's
Totally with you.
completely overrated. But
Most underrated movie in the franchise.
oh, I can't.
agree.
I think it's overrated.
Why do you think it's underrated?
Because it's great. And
Because it's great.
'Cause it's
Duh.
great. That's it.
and that's
Good
why
point. Let's move on.
I think because of Guardians 1, people were like, but it did the same thing. But it made me laugh just as hard, and it did it just as well. So why is it not getting the credit?
Oh, I
it
don't
deserves?
think it did. I think it was a completely different movie than the first one. I think the first movie had a lot of humor, but they still it was. You knew which characters were telling the jokes, and that they were able to kind of maneuver. And they all had James Gunn's humor all over that first movie, but it was still to me not just a joke fest because literally every single person in that movie tells jokes, and it's like there's not one serious person. There's not. Don't give me Mantis because like even she's still there to be funny. Drax they completely killed.
I didn't call it realistic.
No, but I'm going to be realistic. Drax in the first movie was funny because of how naive he was, right? And also but he had this serious mission of really trying to find out what the hell happened to his family, or wanted to have revenge for his family. And he had this mission, and it was like there was this sadness to him, but it was him being naive. There was in Infinity War and in this movie, it's just like he's just there to be Rodney Dangerfield.
I agree. I felt like Volume 2, like the first Guardians, there were actual characters, and I felt Volume 2, they were almost caricatures of themselves.
Yes.
Where it was like, oh, Raccoon has to be funny. Like, so everything he says has to be funny. And Drax is like
and it was.
a big dumb idiot. And it did, like, a lot of the humor landed, but for me, there wasn't enough. It just felt like a lot of fluff.
That's a good point, because again, and I have to say this though too. No, it's a good point.
You just made it.
No, his point with the jokes that actually hit, that I laughed throughout that movie. That's the thing. The jokes were funny.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit. And that's why I think it's like people like Perry, I go back and forth. She loves the movie. I just think it's completely overrated. But the one I was going to go with, off of his point of a movie that he likes, like Infinity War, they just think it's overrated, and I know there's gonna be gasps in the air. And let me explain before I finish it.
Oh shit!
I think that the first Iron Man is a bit overrated.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I know. and I'll
Shots fired.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie, but it's a bit overrated how great it is, because the ending is ridiculous.
Yeah, that last act is poo.
The ending is ridiculous in the fact that Jebediah, like the whole, what's the premise of the movie? Well, Obadiah, what I Jebediah. the whole premise of the movie, the whole story is Tony Stark throughout this whole movie is trying to figure out how to perfect this suit. He's got it. Even Ralphie from Christmas Story inside of it says, I'm not Tony Stark. I don't know how to do this. And he finally does it. And at the end, Obadiah just jumps into the damn suit, figures it out, makes it within seconds. And why didn't he do that in the first place? Why didn't he need Tony Stark? It was like this. It was a silly ending to a great movie. But the movie's really good. I just think it's a little overrated how perfect people think it is, because it's not The Dark Knight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the ending of Iron Man with that fight between Obadiah and Tony Stark is a little underwhelming, but then the movie makes up for it for the last scene where he's like, I am Iron Man. And then it ends and they're like, okay, never mind. Yeah. Everything is forgiven.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe why people have like a different image of it, but I think you're right.
Yeah, Reilly?
About Iron Man?
No, in general.
In general, I mean, I'm with you on Guardians 2. I would say the most overrated for me recently was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I felt a little bit like you did with Guardians Volume 2. A lot of jokes, and it was taking me out. I felt like there was we talked about it in the spoiler review, a shift in the rules. Like all of a sudden they're shrinking the van, and when they could, and then they shrink with it. Like I was a little confused. And then the best part of it was the tag at the end for me. But I didn't connect with it as much as I wanted to, because I loved the first Ant-Man and felt they went away from that movie and that humor. The humor was a little too much on the second.
So go ahead, Roxy. Go ahead and attack Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Okay, here's the thing about Doctor Strange. When I first saw it, I didn't walk out saying, I hate that movie. I walked out thinking, I didn't really like that.
Underwhelmed?
Yeah. And then everybody loved it so much that it just started to piss me off.
I see.
Because it was like, if you didn't love it, you were stupid, and I'm not all the time, and I didn't.
So brave.
And I am so brave. And I didn't think that it was good, because it was just a bunch of like hoodoo guru boo you shubu.
Whoa. That is a Beardo. You know what to do.
That's really what it was, though. And he's
what?
like,
He says perfect.
It just
Get
was,
the sound.
and he's so.
No, he said he was on it.
Oh,
he's so pompous and arrogant, and I get that that's the character, but I just didn't like him at all. Like, I didn't like him at all. And if I'm not gonna like a character, I want you to be like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where I hate you, so I love you.
Right.
He just was annoying, and so when he ends up showing up, I couldn't stand that he's now part of our universe, because he's like, I've got it. Yoga, and it's like no, you don't have it. You are so obnoxious.
Yeah, see, I didn't like the movie. That's not fair. When I saw it the first time, I felt like you did, to where I said it was okay, and I saw it a second time when I watched it, because my wife hadn't seen it in the theater, so we watched it, and I wound up liking it a lot the second time, because
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, because I do like, and it wasn't because I didn't like him. because I did like him. Him and Tony Stark are very similar in ways, and their stories are very similar in ways.
Tony is so much more lovable, though.
Yes, and that's also there's a different type of arrogant, rich dude who's reliant on a lot of things. There's just two different versions of it, and this is Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr., has that quality about him that you just want to love the dude, as where Cumberbatch can be a dick.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the point. They're both dicks, but it just one's a little bit more lovable.
Yeah.
But Reilly, are you on Roxy's side here?
I'm a little bit on Roxy's side because I watched it. My fiance, her favorite is Doctor Strange. Because she brings in, and a lot of people brought up on the chat, she loves some of the spiritual stuff. She likens it to yoga and her studies, and she really got into it. So we watched it again. I've seen it probably 3 times, and both times I was like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do it for me that much.
I guess I didn't realize Doctor Strange was so beloved.
Yeah, he's really beloved.
Huh? Yeah. Now that
And
you bring it up.
a lot of people are saying this, and I agree with this. He was better for me in Infinity War. I loved him
totally.
in
Way
Infinity
better.
War.
Did you like him better?
It was better, but I already hate his face so much that when it showed up, I was
You knew who he
bitter.
was.
Yeah.
He had already pissed you off before.
If I had never seen Doctor Strange and he just showed up, I obviously would have been confused, but I would have been like, oh, okay.
Right.
So I couldn't separate the two.
Okay.
Which was frustrating.
That's
What
fair.
else? What
I
else
mean,
you
that's
got?
the point of the whole MCU, right?
Right.
You're not supposed to separate the two.
Yeah.
Like, it leads into the next.
I'd like to get a temperature in the room here because a lot of people in the chat room are saying, "Go ahead,
76.8.
say it.
Yes.
Black Panther is overrated."
I don't.
And I don't buy.
Yeah.
I can't say that because I just
bit.
watched it Saturday
Yeah,
night.
I mean they're looking to start some shit.
They
and
wanna
that's,
start some
and,
shit,
and that's fine. But I will say that I don't think it's overrated because I think Ryan Coogler, because to me the story's Ryan Coogler, and what he wanted to do with that movie and how important he knew the movie would be. But it was also watching him transition as a filmmaker. You could see him go from Fruitvale Station to Creed to this, and you could see the evolution of a filmmaker from independent film to a bigger budget to a huge budget, and he did it seamlessly.
Christian, you know what Brett would be saying to you right now?
What's that?
We can't
We can't talk about this. We can't talk about this. Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about it. Yeah, sure. But that's probably why they wanted to talk about it, because Brett's not here. We should have gotten
I'm
that
sorry.
summit.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That scene, it's like James Bond. She goes to Shuri. He gets his devices. They go to Korea. It's like it is straight up James Bond,
Right.
and I love that scene. And then Okoye just wrecking shit.
Yeah.
She just pulls the wig off, goes crazy. That movie I
cool
loved. I
movie.
saw it again for probably the 4th time now. And I loved
the
every
music
minute.
is fantastic.
The music
score
is
and the original
phenomenal.
Music
soundtrack.
is
Yeah.
When Andy Serkis is like, what is it, a funeral in here? Let's play some music. And then all of a sudden they start playing the music during the car chase.
Yeah.
I was like,
So
okay, this is why I came here. This is amazing.
This is so good.
I love this movie. I really do. But what I will say is that anybody who puts this in their top 3 list, I do think is overrated.
I agree.
Yeah, I would put it in my top 3. I think. Yeah.
And it's in a lot of people's top 3.
Yeah,
And
which is fair.
I
I'd
think
say it's in my top 10.
But here's
then
a-
it
here's a
would be
different- yeah.
overrated. But if it's in your top 5, top 7, I get it.
It also depends on who, because again, I think when I took RB3 with me to the premiere, right? Thank you, RB3, and this again, when you think about growing up, and for RB3, there's no black superheroes, right? So
There's not a lot. There were not.
There were not Blade,
Barely any,
barely
yeah.
any. So when this and to put it in and even Blade, smaller budget, to just happen to pop. This movie meant so much to so many people. So you can understand to where there were a lot of people that would have it in their top for what it meant to them. In general, to me, I think it's a really well done movie. I think that the movie to me is probably in top 10. I'd put it in the top 10. I would not put it in my top 5. No. But again, you talk about people who really popped in Infinity War. I cared so much about Wakanda.
Yeah,
like it was, and then to see all that stuff go down with them. Yeah, I think it was a great movie. Yeah.
So wait, is it top 3 highest box office? Black Panther?
I
yeah.
think,
Because
yeah.
it's behind
I think it's
Avengers
top
and Infinity
rated.
War, right?
I think
And then
so,
that's
yeah.
3.
Yeah, I think so.
So if you go by that logic, it might be overrated. If it's the 3rd highest grossing film in the MCU.
Just as a movie, but I get what
I don't
Christian's
know.
saying.
It's interesting. I agree with both you guys because it is just where you put the movie.
No, because you're going to do the same thing though too, because you're looking at that money again. The amount of people that came out to see that movie, that's not just comic book movie fans. Those are families going, oh, wait a minute, we have representation here.
I agree.
We have someone who looks like us that is part of this, and that's why that money made the money that it did. So that movie made the money that it did, and that's why I don't think it's overrated at all.
Hopping out of the MCU for a second, what is that? What are those numbers compared to Wonder Woman? Because different reasons, same situation where I don't think it's just comic book fans coming out to see a film.
100%.
I totally agree, but I think people a lot of times equate box office numbers with listing on a movie, listing a movie in your top 5.
Wonder Woman did 821. It's big.
That's
real big. Yeah, for sure. All right, Reilly. Well, actually, what about the boys in the booth?
I got a hot take.
Well, of course you do.
I believe the first Avengers is very overrated.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
It's pretty dated. The jokes don't land as hard. The writing is a little, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the writing works as much. And it looks like a TV movie. I think at the time, because we haven't been so oversaturated by seeing so many heroes in one movie,
right?
It was fun to see all that, and I think it's still a good movie, but I think it's just a tad bit overrated.
I think that I don't think that take is that crazy. I think because what was the big appeal of the first Avengers was exactly what Cobbster just said, and that's to see all the heroes together. And now we're kind of immune to it at this point, but it's like, I just think for what it did for its time, it was like 2012?
2012,
yeah. It was a big monumental accomplishment. But I don't think that's a crazy take.
Question. A question for you, Cobbster.
Yes, please. Ask me.
If Justice League had come out before Avengers did, do you feel like Justice League would be getting the same kind of recognition that the first Avengers gets?
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, that's tough because, one, they're two different movies, and, I mean...
That is true.
RB3 just walked in. Cool.
Nice.
We're having a party. RB3 just dropped in.
Awesome.
I don't know, because did we get the same... Would we have gotten the same results as what we got? So, the Justice League movie that came out, last year, this year? I don't know when it came out.
Last year.
It's that same movie. There's no problems or anything. It's still that movie that we all saw, or was the movie different?
Still the same movie.
Same movie? I don't think so, because Avengers is coherent. There wasn't. I mean, I'm sure there were studio reshoots and stuff like that.
Well, there's a build-up too.
There is the build-up of the universe itself. We got to care about those characters and see them. So no, I don't think it would made that much of a difference.
And I also think that the Avengers suffers from a lot of the same thing that the Force Awakens suffers from, which is people went into it with a certain expectation, anticipation, and it blew minds. Right. And then you go back and watch it, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's not as good as I originally thought, but that still doesn't take away from your first experience watching it, because I can remember being in the theater watching the Avengers and just having a smile from ear to ear the entire time. And it was the same thing with the Force Awakens, and now people go back and kind of shit on it a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I still think, yes, it came out, a few years ago, and maybe it is a little bit dated, maybe it doesn't age as well, but it's still an awesome movie for me, and something that I can't really overrate for the simple fact of every time I watch it, I still get giddy.
I think Cobbster made a good point as far as why. Same thing like I said with Iron Man. It's I acknowledge it's a good movie, but here are the reasons why, and I think he stated his case pretty well there too. What are they saying on Twitter, Reilly?
Twitter, I've seen a lot of Spider-Man Homecoming.
See, I would put that on underrated.
As overrated.
I'd put it on underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly where it needs to be.
I agree,
so
Jared.
too.
I agree.
It's my favorite Spider-Man.
Me too.
I think they nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it. It's amazing to see it go into the MCU and for them to get a handle on it so fast.
Better than Raimi's Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
I
'Cause that was
love
my favorite.
It's neck and neck.
Yeah.
I would give the slight edge to Homecoming. But
I always get shit for this. I think Spider-Man 2 is very dated now.
Really?
I haven't seen it in a while.
Actually,
It's
that's
very,
fair.
It's very
I bet
dated.
it is.
It's very dated.
But
Doc
still,
Ock. The special effects. There are moments in that movie where you're like, oh god. Even back in 2003, 4 when it came out.
Oh, what's that?
Bring
Sorry.
up Bonnie Somerville.
I gave RB3 my headphones. What was the question?
Bring up Bonnie Somerville Spider-Man 2.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Have you ever seen this?
Oh, yeah.
My dong take is that I love Amazing Spider-Man 2, so I can't even be part of
I
Spider-Man.
love
conversation.
the. Do you like the first Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I love the first Amazing
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
First one's
I don't
good.
care what anybody says.
Yeah, I like the first one.
But they shit on
First
both
one's
because
fine.
I like the second one.
The
love
first
it,
one's
man.
fine.
There you
The
go.
second one's
Such a good
There you go.
song.
There you go.
That
So this
James
is-
Horner
So
score.
friend of the show, Bonnie Somerville.
The score is great.
Here you go. This is Bonnie's moment in Spider-Man 2.
I
Yeah.
remember.
So It's so silly. It's like why is it even?
This is classic Raimi right
That
there.
is classic.
Yeah, but it's like
there.
it was unnecessary. Look good for Bonnie, but it's such an unnecessary thing.
Is that
does
the
that
only
all
thing
the
she does
time.
in the whole movie?
That's
Yeah,
just
she
pure
already
Raimi.
had friends and everything too. Like it was, but she took Spider-Man too. It was,
Dude,
it was
he
cool.
does that all the time in all 3 Spider-Mans. Like even in the original, when they're at the Macy's Day Parade, and then some girl's like, "Hey, look, Spider-Man!" And
Yeah.
it's like a close up of her.
Yeah.
It's the cheesiest thing I've ever
There's
seen.
a lot of cheese in that.
The Evil Dead is the scene
yes.
putting on Doc Ock. That is Evil Dead.
Yeah.
The version of the like
Totally.
things,
Yeah.
the chainsaw. He makes a chainsaw reference. So great.
What about RB3? RB3. So who?
Timing. Yeah.
RB3. So what do you? What's an overrated Marvel movie that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, I don't know if you guys talked about it because I just got here.
Okay.
I guess you guys are talking shit about Black Panther. Which one of y'all? Which one?
No, no, we're not.
Okay, so my most overrated is easily Iron Man 3. Easily Iron Man 3. I think that's the worst.
Is it overrated?
It's
though?
not. Yeah.
Is it even rated?
I mean,
I think it
guess
falls
a
in
lot
the
of-
underrated, maybe.
There's a lot of people. I don't know about underrated. It made $1 billion. It made $1 billion. It made $1 billion. It's one of the highest rated. You know, people say it's the most different Marvel film. No, I think it's like a really shitty, like kind of like overall movie. You know, so.
And it has a gain. It has gained like a cult following a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the thing I would disagree that it's not a good movie. And Cobbster hates my take on it, but I think it's a shitty MCU movie. I think it's a good movie though. I think it's a much better, like the Shane Black humor really is put together very well, way better than that shitbox Predator.
Wow.
Like there's the comedy is like you could tell there's like a really solid script there. It's just the choices made were to some people. The Ben Kingsley thing still pisses people off.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And then, but there is some really good action set pieces, like that Malibu house explosion. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then even
And the
the plane
music.
sequence.
And the music.
But it's interesting, like you said, there's just like things that they decide to do. Like the plane sequence is awesome, but then immediately afterwards you find out he wasn't in the suit, and you're like,
That bummed me out.
Yeah, bummed me out. I was like,
Yes.
that takes away from the scene a little bit.
Yeah, and they even retconned it pretty much too. They retconned a lot of stuff. It looked like that's the direction he was going to go in, and they took the thing out of him. But now they retconned all that shit anyway. They didn't even pay attention to that movie.
It feels like they honestly were trying to make an Iron Man parody with Iron Man 3 to a certain extent. And I feel like I feel like I'm most disappointed because up until the Malibu sequence, it was one of the best Marvel movies, period. And then it just completely undid itself.
I agree with that, and I think that it's very similar to I don't want to open up a big fart in the room here, but it reminds me of Last Jedi. Sorry, it reminds me of the same type
Love
of.
it.
No, but it just reminds me of the same type of conversation is where you have a director who took all the stuff that was set up in previous iterations of where the franchise was going to go and the expectations of kind of what the rules that we've set so far, and then go, no, sorry fans, we're not going to do any of that shit. That's this. Look at the Mandarin, who he really is. There's Luke, and you're like, oh. No,
Still love it.
I'm all right.
I thought it was amazing.
But I
I'm just
get
saying
it.
the
I get that.
comparisons are there.
I can
Jedi?
see the
Yeah.
comparisons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely comparisons.
It definitely
Love
it'll
it.
land on you
Best
differently,
Star Wars
obviously.
movie.
He's got left hanging a long
Yeah, for a
time.
really long
Oh,
time.
sorry.
Thanks, man.
You deserve it.
Wait, love what?
It wasn't even really
We'll
good.
do another one.
Oh, The Last Jedi?
Yeah, she loves Last Jedi.
I love Last Jedi.
I love
great.
Last
Best Star Wars
Jedi.
movie ever.
The more I watch it,
I don't want to like
It's going to
die.
open up a can of worms.
It's opening a can of
Black
worms,
Jedi,
exactly.
And the chat turn. No.
Yeah. No. Well, do we have any other movies that we missed from the booth? Or Alex, did you go home?
Alex, you got an overrated one?
We covered them all.
Overrated? Hold on, can I get
Lilo and Stitch.
Ohana
Yeah, what
and
else is
Where'd you go?
Family.
What else are they saying in the chat room?
I'm looking.
You know what's an underrated movie is
Some people are
Captain
going to
America:
Logan.
First Adventures.
Oh, overrated. Come on. now.
Logan's not in the Marvel Cinematic.
That's yeah. We're staying away from that.
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
God, if
I've
we were
seen Iron
opening
Man
up-
3. Thor Ragnarok. I've seen a lot of Thor Ragnarok. It's
overrated.
overrated. Which Thor Ragnarok is creeping
Yeah.
its way into my top 5.
I love Ragnarok.
Love
See,
Ragnarok.
and the people always throw it to me, how do you like Ragnarok but hate Guardians too?
Right. I know.
Because from my same point I made before is that when the humor fit the scene and it fit the character and it set up where it was going. So I loved Ragnarok. I thought
Ragnarok's one of my favorites
And
now.
it breathed some new life into Thor that was dying after Dark World.
It's
Yeah.
exactly what the MCU needed. It needed a change of tone. It needed something different. It needed something a little bit lighter. They needed to take Thor in a different direction, and the movie came out exactly where it needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they continued it into Avengers, where Thor was still a comedic character, but with a very don't double cross him.
Question
Thor-
though.
Yeah, who's that?
That's Cobbster. Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
Hello.
Isn't that the same thing as Iron Man 3 though? Isn't Thor Ragnarok pretty much just making fun of Thor the entire time?
It's just a better movie.
I don't see. I don't think so though. No.
Yeah.
I think it is because the way he started off, he's very serious and he's got his fish out of water jokes, but they made him a cartoon character in Thor Ragnarok, which I love, and they continue. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
I just seeing him. I mean, you saw true human emotion from Thor,
Yeah.
like losing. I know losing Hammer, but it was a moment for him.
It
I
was.
loved it. I felt the humor worked.
The stuff with his dad and his sister, I didn't find him a cartoon character at all. I actually found him the most
and
relatable
then, yeah,
of all
to your
the three.
point, Jared, carrying over into Infinity War, the best parts for me at least were Thor, Rocket, and Groot.
Yeah.
I want
Totally.
as Guardians of the Galaxy as
He
the
was-
next
And
movie.
Quill.
Yeah.
I love that dynamic where Quill felt
it was
threatened
so,
by him.
It was so great.
Yeah, and I think that was the whole point. The reason why you cared the most about Thor and Infinity War is the stuff they set up in Ragnarok.
Totally.
With the conversations that he had about.
And to argue that point between Iron Man 3 and Thor Ragnarok, I just think that in Iron Man 3, there wasn't really that much payoff for Tony Stark. Like at the end, it was really Pepper Potts that killed whatever, Mandarin, Killian, whatever. And then at the end, no, like Thor, there's an arc there and he comes and then he finds the lightning within himself and he ends up saving the day. Like at the end of Iron Man 3, it was making fun of Tony Stark, but there was really never a payoff. Like he didn't really do anything at the end. It was all the suits and it was cool, but he didn't do anything.
Right.
I think
and then at the end for Thor, it's just a little bit more payoff for me.
I think they're both great, but it's also about proximity to the big movie. Like we had just been with Thor, and we wanted to see more about where that was going,
Right.
and it wasn't that long. I mean, how much time was in between those two films?
Which one?
Between Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War.
Oh, it was
a matter of
6-7
months.
months.
Right.
yeah.
So we were invested because
Right.
people that were just seeing Thor.
As
and
part of
then
the
they're going-
television
yeah.
show. Yeah, it's true. And the only thing that I don't like about Thor Ragnarok is that how successful it was. That I think it's going to hurt Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Meaning that people are going to see that. And we should do it like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
That's not a legitimate complaint to have.
No, not really. But it is in regards to how they're going to, because everybody, well, it worked for Guardians too, and it worked for Thor Ragnarok. It does not work for Masters of the Universe.
No.
At
Totally
all.
agree. Totally
Get
agree.
away from that shit.
Yeah.
Don't do it that way.
Hey guys, this is RB3 here. I
Hi,
have a
RB3.
quick question.
How are you?
I'm good.
nice to see
I have
you.
a quick question. Has Infinity War been brought up in this conversation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I brought
yeah.
it up.
All right, cool, because I think it's overrated.
All right, cool. Well,
All right, cool.
well see you later.
But are there any other comments that people are talking about? Because we are going to move on here because we have a very special guest here today. Someone you're very familiar with.
I'm very familiar with, yes.
Do we call her Ashley I, or do we say?
Well, you might as well call her Ashley I because soon she's
gonna
not
be
going to be
Ashley
Ashley I anymore. It's going to be Ashley H.
When
Isn't
is
that so
Ashley
weird?
H? Yeah, when does that happen?
August, we're thinking.
Damn.
Yeah. So we want to guys, thanhanks, because we want like a year engagement. So we got
see.
engaged in June. August would be a little over a year, so that'd be a perfect time.
Well, we
for
thought
us.
about it because when we had one of the first shows that we did a thing where Reilly and Rocco were going to just kind of race to the altar, and we started getting into relationships and a couple.
Yeah, what's happened with that,
We got to figure
though?
out. Maybe we'll get an update from Ashley. So what we were doing though is we started to get into some conversations about just over the last couple of weeks. Things Roxy's brought up things that is going on in her relationship. I do my stuff. My past has come up many times on this show.
He's a very bad grocery shopper.
I'm a terrible grocery
You're a
shopper.
bad grocery shopper.
Yeah, well, you can't. Well, my wife thinks so. I think I'm a phenomenal one. It happens to be it's where I like to just breathe, relax, listen to podcasts, and apparently I can't do that if we need the Worcester sauce.
Are you like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber? He's like, remember, like we're on a tight budget, and then he comes back. Jeff Daniels is like, where's the booze?
Yeah,
You remember that?
yeah,
Nobody?
I remember.
All right.
Yeah,
Moving
Dumb
on.
and Dumber
Yeah,
comes
I
up
remember.
every
You
5
remember.
seconds in the Schmodown. So anyway, so Ashley, who does a few podcasts, we were thinking it would be great because we all know each other. We can get stuff out. If we had someone in here who's essentially a stranger to us, and come in here and grill us about things and try to find things out from us that I didn't know was going to happen. That's what we're going to do because I think she's pretty damn good at it. Would you say that's accurate?
Nah, she's the best. God,
Yeah.
I live with her. I got to deal with this shit every day.
Because I'm wondering what she's going to be able to find out. I want her to crack the code on a bunch of different things. Roxy's an open book. I'm an open book. And I want to see where we're going to go as far as how deep down the rabbit hole can Ashley I, soon to be Ashley H, can figure out. So when we get back, Ashley is going to hit the table. And if I get Roka in here too, I'd love to do that because I'm really going to dive deep. Collider Lab. Hello, Collider fans? I'm Kristian Harloff, and you see my stupid name in the background because that's my other show. It's One-on-One with me, Kristian Harloff. What the hell is it? I just sit down and talk to people. I literally just sit down and talk to people about what the hell's going on in their lives and their careers, and it's a long-form interview show. Originally, it aired on Collider Video as far as the YouTube channel goes, but we moved it on over, and it's on the Collider Video podcast, Collider Podcast, on YouTube. Go on over there if you want to see the video and to see the pretty faces that I'm talking to. Had some great guests over the past. And we're going to have a lot more. And there's going to be people that maybe some celebrities or actors and actresses, producers, writers, all that stuff. But there's also a lot of the people that you know around here. I could have Cobbster on there. I could have Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Mark Reilly, Roxy Striar, whoever. And I'm going to find out more about them. Long form, and also go to Apple Podcasts and check out the One-on-One feed with Kristian Harloff. And not only is my show on there, Mark Reilly, the Reilly Roundtable, which is another sit-down, long-form interview show, that's also there. And when Steve Frosty Weintraub talks to Kevin Smith or George Takei, that's going to be on that podcast feed also. So if you're taking a long drive and you like those long-form interviews, pop on the One-on-One with Kristian Harloff, give it a rate, comment, do all that because it helps the show and it makes Podcast One go, hey, you know what? Those people should get ad money.
Oh, hi, guys. It's Perry here, and I am going to tell you about The Witching Hour. It is the show that I host along with Collider.com's Haley Fouch. It is in podcast form on the Collider Factory feed, and we also have the video up and running every Tuesday for you right there on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel. We talk about everything horror. We're talking TV, movies, the newest releases. We talk about movies that are celebrating anniversaries. We've even talked about books. It's crazy. If it is scary, we are talking about it on The Witching Hour. We also have so many filmmaker interviews, really cool stuff. It's all coming your way every single Tuesday on The Witching Hour. Check it out. Collider Factory and the Collider Podcast YouTube channel. Ugh.
Hey, Collider fans, John Roca here. Look that behind me. There it is, Collider Sports. That's right, that is happening right now. We started it a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've had some great programming on there already. For those of you that have already watched, thanks so much. We got so much coming down the pike. We're talking about NFL. We're going to talk about NBA. There's plans about NHL. Golf is in the equation now. And, of course, the Premier League show that I host with Jack Hind, that's been in motion for the last couple of weeks. And then an MMA show is on the way from Dennis Zhang, me, and Jay Williams as well. For you might know him from the After Schmo show. What is that thing called? Afterthoughts, that's it, the Afterthought Show. All those things are happening here at Collider. And look, we want to hear from you, so we want you to listen, we want you to watch. If you're a sports fan, even if you're not a sports fan, we might entertain you, teach you something new about a sport that you may not have known much about, or maybe so deep into it that you wanted to learn even more about it. We've got you covered. You can do that. Follow us on iTunes and on YouTube. You can there watch all the shows or listen to all the shows that you want, and then leave us comments and rate the shows as well and review them, and then let us know what other sports you want us to cover. Look, we're not touching rugby. I'll just tell you that right now. That's as far out as we'll go, or cricket. But maybe in the future, if we go Collider worldwide, that's certainly a possibility. But for right now, Collider Sports is there for you. Take a look at it, take a watch, and let us know what you think.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. That's right, they gave Reilly his own podcast. The Reilly Roundtable is on its new home, and that is One-on-One with Kristian Harloff on the iTunes feed for Podcast One. It drops every Thursday. The Reilly Roundtable is a little bit about everything. It's about movies and life and movies and everything in between. I like to have on special guests for discussions like Justice League versus Batman v Superman, for discussions about wine tasting, for discussions about UFOs, and everything in between. That's right. The Reilly Roundtable drops on Thursdays on the One-on-One with Kristian Harloff podcast feed and later on Collider Video's own podcast video network. So check it out every Thursday, the Reilly Roundtable. See you there.
We are back. It is Collider Live. It is Monday, and so far we've been talking about a whole bunch of shit, and one of those things was the overrated movies inside of the MCU. Jared had one more thing to talk about. Before I do that, I have to introduce our very special guest here today. You're going to tell me how to introduce you, because we said Ashley I, but soon to be Ashley H. So
yeah, it's going to be weird. I'm still going to go by Ashley I.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
But formally, my name will be Ashley Haibon. But professionally,
Ashley,
Ashley, I.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you on the show. I think it's the first time we've actually ever done anything on the air together. So awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And she's really going to pick us apart here in a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to get into Jared's last thing you want to talk about that we didn't get to cover.
I just had a quick question I was going to ask you off air, but might as well ask on air. For Infinity War, you talked about how you love the end game and the finale of it all. But really, doesn't everything Infinity War depend on what what happens in Avengers 4?
100%.
So that's the only thing that, because it's all going to depend on 4th. Like, if 4 sucks, I'm going to look back at Infinity War, and I think I might have different opinions.
Well, how do you feel about Matrix 1? Because Matrix 1 sets up 2, right, where it's going to lead. Does it set up 2? Yeah, at the end, he's on a phone call with somebody, and it's like, here, I'm coming, he flies up into the sky, like, well, where's he going?
See, I would compare more so Infinity War and the 4th one to Reloaded and Revolutions, where Reloaded completely left on a cliffhanger and was completely setting up for Revolutions, and just Revolutions fell on its face. And I wonder if Revolutions was better, if I'd have a better memory of what Reloaded was.
I never saw The Matrix.
Ever?
Me neither.
Wow.
Really?
No,
we gotta have a
the
Matrix
what?
party.
The what doesn't go
Baby,
there. The what goes there.
I've told you I haven't seen The Matrix every month since we've been together.
I really just block it out of my head, apparently. I'm like, no, that's impossible.
He needs to keep a list of movies that I've never seen that he is shocked by.
Matrix is your fault. You got to. I mean, that should have happened already. What movies have you made her watch that A, she's liked, or B, she's gotten mad at you for making her watch it?
We just watched Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I like Steve Jobs, but that's my kind of movie.
The Fassbender one.
Something
that's not geeky. That's not geeky though.
No, I don't. I'll never like geeky. I don't think I'll ever like
Future.
geeky. I've never seen Back to the Future.
Whoa. I know. I feel bad though because I just I know inherently I'm not sure if you Back to the Future you'll love. I'm not sure if she's gonna like The Matrix.
Yeah, you'll love Back to the Future.
What about Die Hard?
Never seen Die Hard.
Never seen Die Hard?
No.
I feel, oh gosh.
These are questions you have to ask before you propose.
I know. What the hell am I doing with my life? I'm kidding.
He knows that I'm not going to like any of them. If there's not a romantic storyline, I'm very tuned out.
So, for example, she watched the original 1978 Superman, which
Loved
she loved,
Superman.
but I knew that she was going to love that because of the story between Clark and Lois, and then ultimately Superman and Lois.
Do you like violence?
I'm not really.
I made her watch Inception.
You can't ask it like that.
No, see, I
Hard's a
don't
lot of violence.
action. I don't understand how action's even entertaining.
Yeah, then you're not going to like Die
I'll
Hard.
go on a limb and say you'll love Back to the Future.
Yes.
Because of
Really? Yeah, I
the
agree.
romance in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
well, we
I
made.
agree.
So Dorian had never seen it. Dorian is 22 or 23. Had never seen Back to the Future. Watched all three of them within I think a day.
Yeah.
Right?
We only asked that
Loved
you
them.
watched the first, and
And you
boom,
watched all
boom,
three.
boom.
Yeah, he loved them. So
Dorian just chimed in. He said, Dorian.
Yeah.
He said he's at least watched The Matrix.
he's seen the Matrix.
seen The
All right,
Matrix.
well, cool. He's catching up on a whole bunch of things too. So we still we got to get back to that list. With
And
Dorian.
Roxy, you only have to watch the first Matrix. Don't worry about 2 and 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
There's
Princess Bride.
3.
Have you seen Princess Bride? That's got
She's
to be
seen
next
Princess
on your
Bride.
list.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? I've never seen Princess Bride.
Oh,
Okay, so
wow.
love story of all
That's
love
gonna be your
stories. You
favorite
gotta
movie.
watch it.
I know it's a love story, but I'm wondering if I'm gonna be okay with the sci-fi. So I'm okay with the when it comes to sci-fi, like
sci-fi.
Twilight stuff.
It's like
I love
fantasy, not really.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
And it's a very romanticized science fiction film.
Okay.
It's not even. There's really no science fiction really in. Princess
Well, in
Bride.
terms of
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
fantasy,
Magic.
I guess.
Yeah, there's
Magic.
yeah. My daughter. It's funny. My daughter, who is going to be 7 in 2 months, just started watching the Princess Bride, and she loved it. And she didn't want. She's like a tomboy, so she did not want to watch it because very similar to I talked about this last week. But Fred Savage in the beginning of the movies does not want to listen to this story because it's called the Princess Bride. And he
Yeah.
said, and no, said, look, there's fencing, there's fighting, there's giants, there's true love, there's all this stuff, and he winds up loving it. And my daughter started watching it, loves it, pretends that she was Fezzik and doing all these things. It was great. So I think my wife loves
It
it.
will be a home run, 100%.
Totally.
Okay.
Now that I remember, because I remember one time I said "as you wish,"
Didn't
and
get
you
it.
were like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Huh? What?
Yeah. Well, that's one that I would say if she's never seen Princess Bride, that's probably one she would
Totally.
love. Yeah,
I've shown
for sure.
her Inception, but I had to
So,
narrate the
we-
film for her to be like, okay, they're in this dream, they're in this level.
I saw Inception, when it first came out,
Yeah.
and I just did not understand it. And then when I met him,
And I
I did not
refused to accept
understand
that.
his love for it. So I was like, this is way before. This is when we only knew each other for 6 months, and I thought it was like a mechanism to flirt with him. I was like,
It
oh,
was. It really
we
was.
can
It
sit
worked.
next to each other. He can explain things to me. Guys love explaining things to girls. So I actually liked it when he gave me the play-by-play.
Yeah.
I had to do the same thing for Man of Steel because she was like, "I don't like Man of Steel. It's
I
all
didn't like
explosions."
Man
I was
of
like,
Steel when
"You
I
need
saw
to
it.
understand the depth of that movie. And then she watched it again with me, and she really liked it.
Roxy loves that movie. What do you like better, Doctor Strange or Man of Steel?
Oh God, Doctor Strange looks like my
At
nightmare.
least Man of Steel, the first half I can deal with until we get to the fucking dog. The
Oh my God.
dog.
Oh, the dog.
Yes, the dog.
Oh,
In Man of Steel?
in Twister.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna save the dog, and now my dad's gonna die. And are you an idiot?
Oh, that part.
Like, I don't believe in you as a character at all anymore.
Oh, because he didn't go get his dad.
Because I can't show who I am.
And his
then,
dad was like,
No. The movie.
And a couple years later, he's like, by the way, this is who I am. It's like, are you serious?
Oh, that is very frustrating. I remember that.
Go save your fucking father.
Here's the thing, though. Man
a-
of Steel, though, with Man of Steel, as you know, I do like the movie very much. It is the one point that I agree with you on, because I thought that the whole point of Superman 1978, you know, the one that you guys saw, was when Pa Kent dies, he holds himself, he falls.
Having a heart attack.
There's nothing Superman can do about it.
Right.
There's nothing
And if
Superman
there's nothing you
about
can
it.
do, there's nothing you
Right.
can do.
Right.
But if there's something you can do and you're Superman, you're not Superman if you don't do it.
Right.
So I lost all faith in him. The whole movie was destroyed for me in that one scene.
Right.
Oh, really? See, I like the first half of the movie, but then the second
too.
half with all of the action, it's just boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my God, this is just a headache.
Yeah, but that's why that scene is such a mixed bag for me, because I completely understand where you're coming from. But having said that, there is something powerful in that moment of Kevin Costner putting his hand up and saying,
so
the world
brutal.
is not ready
Not
for
ready.
you yet.
Exactly.
And you need to believe me. You need to trust me.
That power is called stupidity.
Roxy.
Stupid. How many times did he
Yeah,
dream
but he's
about
willing
that
to give
night?
up his life for something that he believes in. I get it. That's why it's a
Give
mixed
up your
bag.
life for your dad, bro.
No, but listen, Roxy, this is Jared's love of movie. He loves it when you get frustrated with movies. If you're frustrated with something, he's like, that's the power! And I'm like,
Yes.
There is a moment in there when he puts his hand up, I'm like, holy
That's
shit,
brutal.
don't do this. Because I remember screaming at the theater, like, don't do this. And then it settled there, and I was like, wow, he was really ready to give up his life for something to believe in. And Clark Kent, who's like 17 in that scene, now granted he looks a little bit older because they just tried to make Henry Cavill look 17 or 18, which was dumb. But then like in
Should've
that
given him
moment,
a
like as
mustache.
a teenager, like, do you listen to your dad? You don't know what you're doing. So I can kind of understand where that character was coming from in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they tried to do there. I just think that 78 did it better.
That's why it's a mixed bag.
John Roca walked in because one of the things we're going to do here. So, John, I don't know if you're aware. Excuse screaming horseman right now. No, they played a clip of you screaming horseman.
Roxy's wrong about her point of view on that scene, by the way.
That's fine.
Somebody's point of view can't be wrong.
Look, so
Don't get emotional.
all right. So look, Ashley I is here today
People
because
blow up. I
one of the
don't
things that we
understand
did like a couple weeks ago is when we got into our relationship
Oh,
talk,
yeah, yeah.
where everything is.
Yeah.
So what we thought would be cool is if Ashley comes in here and she's going to grill the hell out of whoever she wants to. What she can do is she's going to pick somebody, and she can really. If you want to go, Ashley, if you want to dive back into somebody's college life, you can do that. If you want to dive into what you think they were like in their single life, or if you can guess about them. I want to kind of get an idea of, because you don't really know any of us from a hole in the wall for the most part. You know things in here as far as like you've seen us around. But if I was to say like John Roca, if you were to guess what kind of person he was in regards to dating from looking at him, right? Because on Bachelor and Bachelor, you guys have seen it all. You've seen the gigolos, you've seen the guys who aren't smooth, you've seen the male sluts, you've seen them all.
Wait, quick question,
Yeah.
Christian. Actually, are you taking notes on this? Or is that like, is that what you do?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
your process?
I took
Which is a
notes.
process.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That is amazing.
Smart.
Yeah, that's why I brought her in.
He wanted me to grill you guys, so I was just like, okay, I may not be able to come up with grilling questions from the top of my head, so here we go.
I think you're a
that is
conversationalist,
amazing.
and I
I
think
love
that's
it.
the whole point is to really. So, I mean, look, you don't have to start with work. You can start with whoever you want, but that's kind of where I was going to go. Is starting with who you thought those people might have been when they were single, if you even think they're single. Dive into it and your kind of profile on people.
Oh, well.
So who do you
this
want to
is-
start with?
Profile away.
Well,
I'm curious.
Jared, based on like the Jared that you would know now,
Yes.
you'd be like, oh wow, he's probably like really smooth. He could probably like kind of mingle with every group in high school, but he was actually really chubby and really
Oh
shy.
yeah, I was fat in high school.
Like fat,
I'm
which
still
is
the fat kid
which is
inside.
which is why when people are like, how'd you find a guy with personality and looks? People, if you get to know him and then you see old pictures, you're like, oh, it's because he was fat in high school.
Yeah.
So he has the insides of a fat boy, and it's really nice.
Yeah, I was never popular. Have you guys ever seen Just Friends?
Yeah, so
that is like
he's-
my sister always is like,
Really?
"You'll always be fat to me, Chris."
Yeah.
But
Says
that's
that to me all
truly
the
what
time.
he is.
How'd you drop the weight? Sports?
I can sports. Yeah, I started playing high school football, and then like gradually by like senior year, I started getting.
Yeah.
I was like pretty skinny by senior year, but like it led up to there. Yeah, there's pictures. Ashley has them, like old pictures. There's one that's really bad that you can probably bring up the phone. I don't have. That's like quite
I mean,
embarrassing.
We'll send it.
Because it's a podcast. Well, I know we have a little video, but
No, it's a little video. It's 5 cameras.
Because
Yeah.
it's do you want me to pull it
Christian,
up?
you and your little video. It's fine.
Yeah, the little video. I know.
Yeah, the little video,
Yeah,
it's
I did
great.
a little video. Hopefully that doesn't come up in the conversation.
Well, we won't bore people with Jared's fat pictures. Maybe I'll send it to you guys, and you can like lay it over his next podcast, his next Collider
It's like
Live.
me waving. It's just not the best.
Yeah, we'll send it,
It's a
we'll
little
send it to
splatter.
the team.
But
Should be his
let's-
inner geekdom
you want me to profile all you
Yes.
guys?
No, you don't have
Yeah,
to.
just
I mean,
do it.
If you
Ask
want
questions.
to.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, wait. Let's go around the table.
Sure.
Christian is married for how long?
Almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years. Well, actually, 10 years in 2020, but we've been together for 10 years.
Okay, John.
Yeah.
What's your relationship status?
I am very committed to a woman. Been 3 months now, 4 months now. We're looking at moving in together already.
But that's fresh.
Bachelor style.
Very
That's
fresh.
fresh. Okay. Roxy?
I've been with my boyfriend for a little over 3 years. We lived together.
Off and on.
And we think it's
Off and
going to
on,
lead to
yeah.
marriage?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
This is great.
Hey,
This is
hi
good
there,
stuff
baby.
already.
Asking the wrong person.
I don't know.
Okay. Does he feel the same way?
I think he doesn't know either.
Okay.
I think we both don't know. I know that we both don't know.
Okay. And Mark?
I am engaged. Been
How-
together 4 years and a few months and some change, and we live together, and we're planning
Okay.
the wedding.
Nice.
When's the wedding?
We're thinking next September.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Jared and I are in a similar boat. We've known each other for, it'll be 4 years when we get married, which is going to happen next August.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yes, it will, baby.
All right.
All right. Well, my first question is, what does your significant? Let's just go around the table. What does your significant other do that drives you nuts?
Oh, man.
But she doesn't know it. So like she will have no idea until she watches this back.
That's the thing.
Or he in Roxy's case.
This is not a shitty excuse. My wife and I know everything that drives us fucking crazy. I think that's why we're still together. It's like because she'll do something, I go, I don't like that, and that's the same thing.
I do that
I
to
can
him
relate.
sometimes, but then he gets a little annoyed in the moment.
No, it's
You do get annoyed.
a
I'm
little.
like,
It
oh,
depends
that's
on the
so annoying.
Like there was one time I always go back to this story, but like I got a haircut. You know, as guys sometimes you cuts a little short. You feel a little insecure about it. You're like, oh.
we weren't together.
We
at
weren't
the
together.
Time.
We were just friends. But I'll never forget this moment. And it was Ashley walked up to me and she was like, I don't like it. And I was like.
But that's honesty. That's the thing.
Okay.
That's the same thing. My wife and I do this all the time. There's really, I think that in the beginning there was stuff that I'm like, I'm not going to bring that up. And now we bring up everything because we've been married for so long.
How long did it take for you guys to do that? Well, hold on. Are you in the same boat?
What's that?
No way.
Do you like
3 months.
There's no way, right? You're not
No, you
completely
can't
open and
choose-
honest.
You can't talk about that.
Of course, we talk about everything. Our second date was about our bowel movements. Like we've talked about everything.
That question is on the list for
Yeah,
later as
everything
comic
that
relief.
is-
You knocked it over.
Oh, well, knock what over?
The picture.
Oh, jeez. Maybe because it's a tight studio. We talk about everything. Anything
Crappy
that-
cameras, crappy studio, Christian.
I know.
No
I didn't
doubt.
say
It's all my
crappy
fault.
cameras. I didn't say crappy-
I built it. I hire everybody apparently.
We've talked about everything that irritates us every time it happens. Like, because we want to be clear about, because we're in our 40s, so like we don't have time for that, 20-year-old discovering each other crap. We know what we know what we want, and we just want to be honest with each other because we want to start building a life together. We're already talking about marriage and everything, so it's in the game.
So then, what was like the most awkward moment where she did something and you're like, no, I don't like it?
When she doesn't, the thing she does that bothers me is she thinks she's told you something and then gets mad at you for thinking that you knew she told you about it, and then you have to be like, no, we skipped a step here where you didn't tell me all the information, because she'll be like, honey, can you come over? I need to figure out plans. Okay, what's going on? I've got to figure stuff out. I got plans. What are your plans? I'm going to have dinner with a friend. What friend? Where are you going? What time? So I need information so we can figure out time. She doesn't like to give me all the information.
Yeah, see, I didn't commit to calling honey and doing all that kind of shit for like a while.
Yeah.
Because I was for a long time, and I've told this story many times, that I had no intention of getting married. I had no intention of getting kids. I just wanted to do stand up, and I wanted to meet people after the shows, and that's all I wanted to
What
do.
changed?
I met my wife.
He was an
And you just
F-boy
knew.
at heart until he met.
So when you met your wife, did you
That was
know
fucking cute,
immediately, or was it a little hesitation, and then it build and build and build, and you're like,
Well,
I love this woman so much.
My wife is very attractive. So like
like a bomb.
she's
shot.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
she's smoke show.
so when I saw her, it was funny. My friend had brought her to a show, and I was like, at the time I was on stage, so my wife still gives me shit about this. I said to my friend Cricket, right, and I said, your friend is gorgeous. Like, what's her deal? And she was sitting in the crowd. I wasn't going to go up to her. She's like, why didn't you just come up to me and talk to me? Because you were watching a show. I'm not going to pull you out. I told my friend, and there was no intention except, hey, come to my show and come see one of the things. She's like, I'm not coming to one of your gigs. You can take me out
Yeah.
And eventually I did. And then the first night we went out, I was like, okay, yeah, I can tell that I dig this lady. So and that was kind of it. But like we had conversations. She told me, because I told her, there's something you definitely don't want to say on a date. I said, I just feel like marriage is just paper.
Oh God.
I said, it's just a piece of paper you sign. And she's like, well, that's fine, but to let you know that I want to sign that paper. and then I'm probably going to be out the door down the line if you don't want to do that. So you should think about that. And that's fine if you don't. But and I said, you got my shit together.
So how did you guys meet your significant others?
Bumble.
Very nice.
Yep.
Dude, I'm a huge advocate for dating apps. I think so many people, there's like this.
Looked at Ashley to make sure it was okay for you to
It's
say
okay, I can say that, right?
Totally fine.
Baby.
Yeah.
But seriously, because like feel like there's like not a bad
No, I don't even think there's a bad connotation anymore.
No, I guess not.
We're all so busy that
Exactly.
we don't have the time anymore to just walk up to someone in the grocery store. We're all so
It's kind of like
such
a
a great
standard
way-
now.
Yeah.
Totally, it's such a great way of meeting people. I think people need to like go for what they want and let go of how it comes to be.
Yeah.
I don't
think that's
understand
great.
why there's a stigma behind.
Stigma,
I met my,
Isn't
I met
Facebook
my,
doing one now?
what?
Facebook's doing
Yeah.
a dating
Oh, really?
thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I bet it only introduces you. You have to do the rest. Everybody
Totally.
thinks, oh, you're going to meet somebody. It's like you don't have any power
Right.
over this app. It's like it opens the door.
What do people do? And besides yelling about us in the chat room, what do people do? Like in the people who are in the chat room and on Twitter, like when there's sure there's tons of single people out there. What's the dating process? Are you going to bars? Are you going to? Are you doing the dating apps? What are you guys doing out there? I'm very
that's a good
curious.
The
question.
Schmodown has brought people together.
Yeah.
It definitely has.
Yeah. Fans and competitors.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't have anything against the app situation. My brother met his wife on a J date, so I'm like all for it. But
J-date
I
seems
just
to be
would.
very successful.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I think when you find like the one common ground thing, any of the dating apps that start with something that you have in common are pretty successful. But I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Like, I don't know.
Why?
I meet so many people every day.
Right.
Like, there's
Did
too
you
many
ever have a
people.
problem going on dates?
No.
No.
And there's just too many people all the time. Like,
Right.
then to spend time on my phone, then looking at somebody who's hot, and then wondering if they think I'm hot, it feels really stressful to me. Like, didn't that make you guys nervous?
Nope.
For me, I like the fact that you don't have to search for the you find the attraction and then you can see if there's anything more. Because when you do go out to try to find somebody, first you need to find the attraction.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, attraction is a huge part of dating. Like, it's the first thing that you see of somebody. Am I attracted to them or not?
Yeah.
So, like,
But
that's
it's
a
more
cool
than
thing.
how somebody looks. Like, is it an attraction?
Of
Their
course.
aura?
Chemistry, that kind of stuff.
But
yeah.
that's what's exhausting about dating apps is like you can be attracted to somebody, but then you meet them in person, you're like, nah, this is just not what I thought it was gonna be.
And then what happens when you know more about that person than you know about so many other people and you haven't even met them yet? And then you go on your first date, you've already covered your first 6 dates.
This is a great point you bring up, Roxy. This was frustrating me about eHarmony. eHarmony was like 36 pages of questions. And I'm like, my partner should not know this much about me until I walk through the door. Because then there's no spontaneity, no fun discovery of each other. If you know all this stuff we have in common and all the stuff we don't have in common, then why don't we just put the ring on while we're done with it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So to me, the discovery is the joy of dating is like discovering each other and figuring each other out.
Sorry, Reilly, what are they saying in there?
A lot of people are kind of like, I'm old-fashioned. I'm going to go to the bar to meet somebody.
That's
I've used
The
Tinder.
bar. Yeah.
Somebody wrote, I met my ex-girlfriend and current girlfriend on Tinder. The dating apps are fine. They like it. A lot of people are saying it's really hard out there.
Yeah.
It's hard
It's
to
really
meet
hard.
somebody.
Especially in Los Angeles.
Especially when you get older.
Well, Los Angeles, there's just so many shiny objects, you know?
Yeah,
That's the
true.
thing that really hurts this
Yeah.
city is that, like, everybody, you might be on a date with somebody, but it always seems like they're looking over your shoulder for the next best thing.
They're backing
God,
the waiter
that
or the waitress.
That
on
was
the
me
date.
in the bar situation. I remember somebody I just
You'd always
snuck
be looking
right
past
in.
your date's shoulder.
She was, somebody looking around. But I remember going, I'm like, hi, how are you? Trying to scoot into the bar. And she went, and I went, the fuck was that?
Right.
I just want a drink.
It's LA.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking to you.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's a question
hard.
for the whole table, but I'll start with you two, the two. And I know you're going to be going around this too. This might even be a question. Who's the jealous one out of the two of you?
He is.
You are.
Comparable.
Which
Really?
is so funny.
former
Somebody
fat kid.
go
Former
back
fat kid. That's
and
how it works.
tell
Telling you.
everybody watching Bachelor in Paradise 2 and 3 that he would be the jealous one.
I know. Listen, I got to tell you something. By the way, I didn't tell you this on because I didn't see you since. You pulled a move on that show because you came in beforehand and said you were going in. You said it was right before the engagement aired.
Yeah.
Right. So the dude Kevin, right?
Yeah.
He's standing there, and then you pulled a sly move, but it was still like one of these where you went you went. We were both dating people at the time, and you kind of was it a bad edit?
I think,
to where where you pointed out?
honestly, he was talking about Wells.
I was trying to. Here's the issue. So the night before,
you were just pointing at Wells.
So full disclosure, everybody knows this already. I was arguing with producers the night before that I did not want him there.
I didn't know that.
Because I didn't
Okay.
ask for anything going to the engagement. And I had heard rumors that. So long story short, I got engaged down in Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful opportunity. It was the first beach we met. Like I wanted to do it there.
Yeah.
I heard rumors that her ex might have been there. But I'd never thought in a million years they would want to make it awkward to be like, oh yeah, let's have Jared propose in front of her ex. Like, they're not going to do that.
You thought reality
kidding
TV
me?
show producers didn't want to make something
Well,
awkward
because
for
here's the thing,
ratings?
like they've never made an engagement that awkward.
Right.
Okay.
Like I was like, for storylines, of course,
Right.
but like they're not going to make our engagement that awkward.
Right.
So then I was like, listen, I didn't ask for anything the night before. I was talking to producers. I was like, listen, the only thing I want is him not be there.
Right.
That's it. Just like take him on a date, do whatever. If he's there, because I didn't know if he was there or not, just like please take him away. And they're like, okay, we can't do that, but they were like, it's gonna be like, listen, it's gonna be 2 seconds of you talking in front of the group, and then you're gonna go, and that is gonna be it. And I was like, and then it was pretty much came down to either you take that
Right.
or you're not getting engaged.
I
And it was
see.
like, well, I want to do this, so like I can't base my own decisions on Kevin's feelings.
Right.
So I was like, okay, they'll make it.
So you were playing a nice guy thing, just where you didn't want it to be. You didn't want it to be awkward.
And it
for
was,
the guy.
dude, it was so awkward because we went down there and went in front of the group,
Yeah.
and Harrison was doing all the talking, and of course Kevin's right there. It's the first time I've ever seen in person.
Okay.
And like I'm not like, so I'm like, my head is down. I can't even tell watching TV back. I'm like, I know how awkward I felt. My head is down. I'm not even laughing, and it sucks because I'm about to propose. I know I'm about to propose. She doesn't know, and I can't even enjoy this moment. I just like, okay, can we go? Can we go? Can we go? And then Harrison's like, okay, tell us about your dating history, and it was like, okay,
He said Bachelor in Paradise 3. He's like, in Bachelor in Paradise 3, we dated other people.
Yeah.
He wasn't really referring to Kevin in that moment.
And it was just hard because I'm trying to because Harrison was like, tell the group like what happened between you guys, and it's like, and that's why I was like, I wasn't gonna not be a dick and like try to like
see what you're saying.
not even look at
Right,
him.
right,
like I
right.
was trying to
be a man.
I was
So
trying to be a
here's the
man
deal.
and,
Yeah.
and just like talk to the group. And then what really made me mad though is when Harrison was like, okay, go to the beach, guys. And I knew that once we went to the beach, it was just gonna be us. But I had no idea that Chris Harrison was gonna be like, hey guys, come watch and include Kevin in that group. And it's
Yeah.
like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Ratings.
Yeah, it's a show, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, so that was the frustrating part. I mean, it ended up being fine. Like, our engagement still was wonderful, and it was a great moment between the two of us, and watching it back was incredible. But yeah, that's still such a frustrating part.
I see. Yeah, because and you never know how you're going to get edited too, and it's got to be even equally awkward for you.
We had a lot of stress leading up to
Yeah.
that. We weren't even excited about a proposal to watch it back. We were just more stressed about how it was going to be edited.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
that was a downer,
I think
but,
but,
you know.
So all right, well back to these.
But we don't regret anything.
No, as you should.
Anyway,
No.
I want to go around and just talk about, like, Mark, what is something that you are so annoyed by that she would have no idea? Because it's so juicy.
She knows. So I've
Come
been
on.
together with her a while too, so she knows.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing is I have to now tell her that we have to be somewhere probably an hour before we need to be there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes forever to get out.
Right.
And she sees me pacing. And so she knows. But I don't think she cares. I think she wants to do her thing, wants to look good and feel good. And
My wife
and
is
I
late to
respect
everything.
that. And I respect that, but I'm starting to have to move back the ETA to like
You pretend.
Yeah.
You pretend that you have to be there earlier than you
yeah.
do.
She's like, what time do we have to be there, babe? I'm like, oh, we have to be there at 4. Meanwhile, 6 p.m. is the start time.
Oh, totally.
It's,
Although he says totally, but this is a new pet peeve that I've actually been honest with him about. I'll be getting ready for like an hour and a half, and he's like, "What time do we have to be ready?" I'm like, 6, and I'll be getting ready at 4:30. And then he will hang on his computer until 10 to 6.
It takes me 7 minutes to get ready.
And then he's like, I'll go take a shower. Okay, I'm going to go take a shower now. And then we are the one, it will get out of the door late because he'll be like folding his clothes. No, because when he gets ready, it's not like he just gets ready, throws everything out, throws everything on the bed.
OCD. Right.
He like has to fold his clothes. So he'll be like folding his clothes while we're late. I'm like, what the hell
We're not late.
are you doing right now?
Are you guys living together already?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We
Okay.
moved in July.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I can like go on a whole bunch of things.
I'm sure.
I think like this will be fun. He knows that one.
This will be fun.
Well,
this will be fun.
This is something that has annoyed me for months now. I've always known he does it, but I'm not sure why he does it. Like if it's a nervous habit or what. But he coughs and he clears his throat constantly, unless he's distracted. If he's like in this room, you probably won't hear him do it.
Might be just a nervous habit. I don't know. I've always had it.
No, he like it just clears his. And then he went to the doctor. He went to the doctor and listened to this.
No, okay. First of all, I was a doctor in Rhode Island like a few years ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, you're not going to any doctors in Rhode Island anymore.
What happened? What'd you do in Rhode
He just said
The
I need
doctor
to drink
goes,
more water.
You need to drink more water. I'm like, that is the biggest
You
bullshit.
thirsty
I've
boy.
ever heard. Can we
You
see
thirsty.
that?
That's what he said.
You know, so he was just like, oh, there's a little redness, right? Yeah, thank you.
I'm like, what kind of quack you going to?
Lots of quacks.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So that's annoying.
Wait, Roxy, how'd
What's
you meet
Roxy's
your...
answer? Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
hear this.
Which question?
Both. I want to know how you guys met, and then is there anything that he doesn't know that annoys you?
We met because
Here we go.
we met. I hired him. So that was a little taboo.
Well.
Yeah.
Plot thickens.
Yeah, we met because I hired him for AfterBuzz.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, auditioned him and hired him. And honestly, like, I am way too vocal about the shit that annoys me. Like, everything annoys me. Everything bothers me. And I've had to get better about it because you need to learn to pick your
Does he
battles
tell
a little
you,
bit.
hey, bring it down?
No, he doesn't say shit about shit
Really?
until he explodes. Like he doesn't say shit about shit ever.
He explodes?
It's kind of like Jared.
Yeah,
I don't explode.
You don't explode, but like he seems so easygoing
Yeah, so
until like
easygoing.
that day where he gets angry.
It's like whatever you want, whatever you want, whatever you want. Why the fuck is this? And that's the story of his life. So there's nothing I guess that really like annoys me like that. I remember similar to your coughing thing. He does this weird like small thing that has bothered me forever because he's got like strange hand things. He needs to wash his hands like 50 times a day. Have you guys ever noticed
yeah,
this?
Sinatra was like that.
So he like can't have anything on his hands, and so we would be going out to dinner. I'd be introducing him to my friends at the beginning, and he would go to the bathroom 6 times throughout the dinner, and they all asked me like, is he a drug addict or like what? Are we not interesting? They'd be in the middle of the story, and he just. I've got to go. And like,
I haven't seen that before.
It's
Wow.
like psychotic.
That's
He's
really
so weird
crazy.
with his
Don't
hands.
do that in the show now.
Yeah, do you guys know? My little sister taught me this. Do you guys ever think about each other's serial killer traits? So when you look at your partner, when you look at your partner,
I know yours. You want to eat people.
yeah, that one. When you look at your partner and you think if they ever murdered somebody, if they ever caught, you'd be like, oh, I could have seen that coming because whatever. And
What's
people
mine?
have all different
He
serial
has
killer
one.
traits.
He seems
I have
to
one?
know that I have one.
No, I was thinking of my own serial killer traits.
Yeah.
'Cause well, actually, it's funny. So I just met Skeet Ulrich.
He like geeked out, but he felt
I'm
bad.
I know. I saw your post. I was like, that's perfect because I'm a huge Scream fanatic. And actually, her sister. We were talking about if this was a horror movie. She was like, "You'd totally be a killer. I can already see you pulling the mask to reveal your face." So I'm curious to see. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't think you are just I could see you in a fit of rage, just like stabbing someone and then coming to and be
Start
like,
crying.
"What did I do?"
It's not
Exactly.
how they
Like a
would
Beyonce
murder
center.
somebody. It's
Yeah,
like
my-
what they do in life.
Well, my wife, you would never find the body. You would never find it because like she'd be able to figure out a way to clean it up to where the fingerprints guys would come in and be like, "There's nothing."
I'm sure you sleep easy at night.
I mean, when it comes to that's the thing. She knows that I tell her about all the time is her sleeping, like it sucks. Like you can literally walk into the room. What? Huh? What? Go to sleep. And now, especially with the baby, it's like, and mine, I sleep like a rock, but I'm moving around. My youngest daughter got it. My oldest daughter got it too. I'm a thrasher. Like I move around a lot. Yeah. Move around a lot.
That's rough.
Yeah.
We're pretty good sleepers.
Yeah, it's funny though because now that we're comfortable with each other, like like the first couple weeks it's cuddling and and now it's like okay, good night.
Right. That's
And
it.
just roll right
can't.
into the
I
sleep.
gotta roll
is big.
over. I need my space.
Oh,
in the bed.
totally.
Yeah.
How can people sleep and cuddle I don't get it.
Oh, really?
She
we
hates
do that
that
all the
about me.
time now.
I've been sleeping on the couch.
Really?
Yeah, we cuddle.
He's only 4 months in.
We sleep and cuddle all the time.
You
But
just
she
really-
hates. She
Everybody,
hates
everybody,
how much-
pause. What?
Been sleeping on the couch for the last week.
What?
Because of the baby.
Oh yeah,
The
that
baby
makes
sleep.
sense.
Oh, so you're not in like
Yeah.
you're not like up Schitt's Creek and she kicked you
No,
out.
she wants me to sleep in the room. I go, I gotta work.
Oh my god.
I like,
I go to the couch when I get because I have restless leg and she hates it. She is sad for me, but I'll go on the couch and she'll come out.
She's
and look at me
sad
and go,
for you. Oh, you're restless leg.
Dude, I do not wish it on
I know.
anybody.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing.
She is sad for me.
Yeah, yeah.
She's trying to help me. She's looking up things and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
I have a great question.
Uh-oh.
Would you wear an engagement ring, Mark? Because Jared sometimes wants to.
Yeah.
I would. I think if she wanted me to.
There's a story behind
You
it.
taking her name?
No.
I think if she
Sometimes
wanted
we
me
think
to.
about it.
Jared, I.
But I think Julie is very, very traditional. She loves the engagement ring, and I think it sets. I don't think she would ask for it, so ask me to. So, but I would if she wanted me to. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
The only reason I wanted to was because I wasn't with her, and then like this group of people came up to me and like you could tell they didn't know who I was, but we just started talking, and then like I could tell that the girl was asking me like, oh, are you single or what's going on with you? And it was just like this awkward moment where I had to be like, where I knew she was flirting with me, and I was like, I'm engaged.
But
Like,
don't
and
you
so I was
s-
like, man, it'd be so much easier if I just had a ring, because she's always said that. She's like, anytime a guy comes up to me now, I just go like this.
But
Like
don't you
I just
sense
kind
it?
of like brush my hair from my face.
And I was like, I kind of want that.
But
Not
don't
that
you
I could
sense it when it's happening and just drop your girlfriend casually in a conversation? That's how women do it.
I try
Women
to
do it
as much as
quickly.
possible,
Like, as
yeah.
soon as they sense you're interested, they'll just like, my boyfriend said blah blah blah, so that you're done with the interest.
It's
It's
so
gotta be a little
close,
easier
though.
for you though too now with people who know who you are. It's pretty
yeah.
public.
It's
Yeah.
people who
Totally.
don't
Yeah.
know, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, who's this hot guy?" So when he was bartending, it happened all the time.
Yeah.
There's been so many times though, because as you just mentioned that, Roka, like you don't want to be the presumptuous dick, assuming
Right.
anybody who's talking to you is flirting with you. And so many times guys will be talking to me, and I'll casually drop my boyfriend,
Right.
and they'll be like, "I wasn't hitting on you."
Oh, guys
yeah,
will do
they
that?
get annoyed.
Oh,
Oh,
guys
they do
will
get
do that?
annoyed.
And so
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
like
that's
so
insecurity.
uncomfortable, and
Fuck
they
those
so
guys.
clearly are hitting on you. But
Yeah.
then it's like, so I've learned to not drop it, and then
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, and I gave
Oh,
somebody,
fuck that.
I ended up having to give somebody my number the other day because it was so uncomfortable.
what?
Did you give her a real number?
Dude, actually,
it a
if you
555?
ever do that,
I gave a fake number, but
Oh,
I
you
felt
did.
really uncomfortable because I've seen him multiple times
Give him
since
Roka's
then.
number?
He hasn't said anything.
Yeah, give
Oh
him my
my
number.
God.
It's just
Hey,
awkward.
How's it going? This is how I sound in the morning. How you
It's
doing?
awkward.
You've
Like when
seen him
somebody
multiple
says, yeah, somebody
Yeah.
says to you, like, "Can I have your number?" And then do you say, like,
How do you see
I
them
have
multiple
a boy
times?
because I go to Soho House and he's at Soho
Oh, I
House all
see.
the time, so I always see him
Oh.
doing work there. And so
Uh-oh.
he's seen me since, and he hasn't said anything. He obviously knows I gave him
Give
the
him
wrong
the wrong
number,
number.
unless he never tried it.
Awkward.
But it's awkward. Like, what
Yeah.
are you supposed to
definitely
do?
try it if he's not coming up to you and saying anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think you should change your baby for those idiots. Like, do whatever you want to do. Fuck those guys. If they can't handle you having a boyfriend, fuck them.
Yeah, yeah.
It does create an awkwardness though, like because you
But they
just
create
know.
it by being immature about
Oh,
it.
you're absolutely right.
Right.
But still, in the moment, like I
Yeah.
can empathize
Yeah.
with you being like,
You don't wanna
I-
deal with
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
just like
True, too.
I get it.
weird.
Like, I'm
And
the most loyal fuck around. Like,
Yeah.
I would never ever, but it's just awkward. It's just
Yeah.
All right, so
awkward.
Ashley, keep on going with your questions here. We got about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kristian,
Yeah.
when you were engaged, and
Yes.
and Mark, when you
Yeah.
are now currently engaged, you have joint bank account right now that you're married.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you do when you were engaged? Because Jared and I is like so weird. It's like I'll pay for this, you pay for this, but we know in 10 months it's all gonna be together anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is just whether it's my own thing that I had to. There was an account. I said use it whenever you wanted to use it. Right? We didn't do it. Do we do a joint account? You know what? We might have done it
When you were
more.
engaged?
No, we didn't. It was when we
No.
were married. But I don't know the answer to that question. I think that what it was, I had my own. I still have a separate account that I have for other things
Oh,
too.
you do?
I do. But
For what?
drugs and prostitution. No,
Can't trace it back.
it's just for and whether it be to put separate money in. She has access to it though too, but it's like it's just under my name, as where the other one is both our names.
When did you guys start talking about money? Because that's when we start. That's like
This is our biggest disagreement.
Yeah.
It's like never gets fiery
It's
or
not
anything.
disagreement, but it's more of like
It's
when
a
are.
thing. It's like it's money first, and once you
yeah.
have kids, it's kids first, then money.
It's because it's like for me, I'm like, no, your money is your money, and my money is my money. Because
But I'm
like,
like, no.
and then I'm like,
Yeah.
well, no, not like bad thing, but I don't want to make it feel like I'm. I just feel weird.
Are you signing a
taking her-
prenup?
No,
Then
that's
why
why
do you
it
care
is
about
our
the
money.
I understand that. At one point,
Especially since we live together, we eat together,
Yeah.
we clean the house
I think
together.
that's what, but Ashley, that's where
You
I
gotta
am. Though. That's
compromise.
where I was. Though my thing is because it's like yes, and correct me if I'm wrong. The intention is you said next August.
Yeah.
The intention is let's get to August. It's happening. We're ready to go, but. It ain't August yet. This is the way I felt. Like for me, it was like because anything can happen up until that's the way I am.
Oh, it's not even anything.
That's the way I was. I'm not saying it's the way you are. I'm saying that's the way I was to where it was. I'm like, well, let's have the intention to do all of that. Let's have the intention to have the joint accounts, to consider money, to our money will be our money. But what happens if this happens before August and shit goes down? That's the way that I was always protective of shit. It was probably not the right way to think about it. But
Are you
that's how
going
it
to do
was.
it after marriage? The same
Oh, same bank
so
account
it's just
once we
for
get
now.
married.
For
yeah.
me, it's just
I
I don't want
respect that.
I don't
Yeah.
want to make it feel like she's going out to work and comes home and be like, oh, how's our how much did we make? You know, it makes me feel awkward.
So let's be like really candid right now. Because I have more Instagram followers for certain campaigns, I'll get more money for it, but I'll think of it like, oh, combined, we're getting this. That's awesome. But he'll be like, no, you're getting this, and I'm getting this.
But that changes. You that mindset will change. That's where I'm coming from.
You guys know, and obviously I'm not asking. But do you guys know how much each other make? Like, you guys talk about that?
Or ballpark.
Ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, well, yeah. When you get married, like my wife she tells me how much I make.
Right.
At this point.
That's the conversation we had this weekend because we're already talking about marriage. There's going to be no engagement or anything. Like that. We'll just go do it.
Yeah.
We'll just go to the justice of the peace and do it. We've already scoped
So you
that
guys
out.
are talking about how much each other
the
have?
money came up for the first time in our conversation. It kind of put like you just said, it kind of put a little bit of a division for the first time with us because she said, "Honey, I need you to make more than I make," and for me, it's like a real.
She wants that
and I'm
tradition.
like, but she has her own job, but she runs like shit at UCLA. She's what she does is she's in charge. She's in charge. So to me, that was weird. And she's like, I did a little bit of your numbers, but I figured out you do make more, but I need you to be making more than I was like, wait, do you want me to be the breadwinner? And she's like, yeah, well, I'm traditional, but I have no problem working. It's just so for the first time, I took a step back, like emotionally in my head, like, well, what happens if because this is an unstable business. Sometimes you never know. And so what if I lose this? Does the relationship end, or do I have to go out and get something that rivals this? And if I don't, do we stop being with each other? So that was the first time I got a little scared about it.
That's so interesting.
We talked about it, but it was scary.
Last week we had the first issue because we're trying to buy a new TV. We're going to go buy a new TV like probably tomorrow. But it's our TV in our home. But right now, who's paying for it? Like, if I want to spend the extra $600 on like a better quality, bigger TV, and he's
LG
just like,
OLED.
Yeah, we split rent. I remember that back in the day when we first started.
We split rent.
We split
Yeah.
rent and stuff, and now,
but the TV will have for the next 4 or 5 years.
Right.
It's different between renting and owning. Like,
Yeah.
because like we're renting, so right now it's like, oh, this is the rent. We're just splitting it down the middle. But now it's like, oh, this TV we're buying. This is like our TV for the future.
How big?
And so
How big of a TV?
65 inch.
Yeah. Get the LG OLED.
LG.
LG OLED.
We like
That's
the
top
I like
of
the
the
Sony.
Yeah.
Which one? The Bravia?
The 900.
Oh, you want the
something.
900? So you don't
We're
want
not
to go
sponsored
full
by any of these
OLED.
people. Stop
no,
talking
no,
about
I'm
it.
sorry. I just
I'm
went
not going to
shopping
spend
this weekend.
4,500 on a TV.
No, the LG OLED at Fry's is like 2,200.
Yeah, so you need to set up. See,
2200?
eventually, you got to get yourself to a place where you need to get yourself a deal to where you're going to get your own room.
Yeah.
That's the deal you got to make.
Oh, we are.
'Cause I didn't
That's
make
what
that
we're
deal.
doing. That's what we're doing.
That's why we're getting the TV.
Get the 70, kid. And
Well, see, here's the big debate: is he was like, we have the intention of going in and getting an $800 TV just so that we could have one little side room.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh no, that doesn't make sense at all. We'll get a huge TV.
Like, if we're going to spend money, maybe we should
Do it.
spend money on
Yeah.
the TV that we're going to
Surround
have for years
sound
to
and
Are you
all
come.
guys in a
stuff, yeah.
2-bedroom?
We're in a 3-bedroom.
Nice.
My
Just
sister
the
lives
two of
with
you?
us in one of them, and then we have
The
we have the
third-
whole. We have
yeah.
like the girl den, which is, and then he'd have the
Well,
guy
how's
den.
that, but wait, how's that scenario going to work out, though?
Oh, she's gonna move out when we get married.
She is going to move out.
Yeah.
How's that conversation happening?
Oh no, she knows that.
Oh, okay.
She knows. It's just like it's sad,
It is.
but you know,
It
it's
is.
the truth.
Like
Yeah.
the day you get married, she's out, or she?
She probably should move out the month before, honestly.
Right.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love living with her sister Lauren. Like,
Right.
it's like Three's Company.
Yeah.
But
Right.
but I agree. I do feel like I just need something because it is such a female apartment, which is fine. I moved in and I'm easygoing. Like, I don't need much. But like, just even like, okay, yep, I need a TV in a second room in case like I want to play Xbox for like an hour. Just like, you know,
Or watch your socks.
The
vent,
important
watch
things
the
in
socks,
life.
you know.
This
Yeah.
poor guy has watched so much 4 weddings and say yes to the dress. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, wait. And,
Dude, it was so bad. We did a show for Food Network, and one of the guys was from Save Yes to the Dress, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Randy. And I was like, I know
Randy.
his fucking name.
Well,
He
I know-
spotted him before
listen,
me.
My wife is how I know you guys.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's how I know you guys. And the same thing, like, you know, that's what happens. You take the same. She wouldn't probably never even considered fucking Die Hard or all these other things too, you know. And like now, it's just that's you take it on. But we got a little bit of time left. I want to actually get a couple more questions in, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here and prep for Tommy Wiseau tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kristian, this is specifically to you again because you're in the longest term relationship. Was there a point where you thought we're not going to make it?
Great question.
The honest answer to that is never since we've been married. And I think that the beauty of it is
Never since you've been married, but I want to know beforehand.
when we first started out, and it had nothing to do with her. It was me, and it was all my like insecurities and all that kind of stuff too. To where I was so used to just kind of playing the field and doing my own thing and not answering to anybody. So I was like, I think I was trying to find a couple excuses to be like, maybe I'll just sabotage this thing. and I didn't. Thank God. And we had a couple conversations about it, but never like, oh, this is going so bad that it's not going to last. Like we've never really had that stuff. And this is on her, where she's a very good communicator. She's very good. I'm terrible at it. And like she's just like, no, let's talk. And I said this at my wedding, that this thing that she said to me that always stuck with me. It's like we have to promise to never go to bed angry because that's the thing that can drive people apart. And so she's. So it's really on for her. I've never really felt ever with her on the air, off the air, that I've never been like, oh shit, I don't know if I can do this. Never with her. Many relationships beforehand. My ex relationship that I was in for on and off like 9 years, thought it all the time.
The girl that cheated and you ended up finding in the hallway.
Yeah. Like that's like that I felt like I knew. That's why I never even got close to proposing, because I knew in my heart of hearts. She was, why aren't you proposing? How come you're not proposing? Why aren't we getting married? I was like, because something fell off, and I was right. You know, I felt it with my wife, and I've always felt, take the shot the first time, because I don't want to take two shots. That's just never like, God forbid, never like I would never get married again. Would never do it. Just once.
Woof. No, but I hear you about the whole like PTSD thing of like I've never been cheated on, but there has been like an instant before that like she asked like in terms of jealousy of like even just like guys being friendly with her. I'm like I don't trust them because they're idiots. I'm a guy. My friends have been guys. I've been in situations
My friends
before.
have been guys.
They're just
dudes know dudes.
You're gonna
dudes
be like
know
me as a
dudes,
dad.
and like I'm sorry, but
We
his
know the
intentions
patterns.
are
We know the questions they're trying to get to. Yeah.
totally.
We
And
see
so like
exactly
when
what
even
they're
like a
doing.
guy is like from Bachelor family, just like DMs her and is like, oh, that's so funny. I'm like, it's not. He's not just trying to say that's funny. It's not. Like it's just like he sees something. I know, but
they put that hand close to the.
Do you think you're
shoulder.
a little overprotective?
I don't think I'm overprotective because I would never tell her to change her ways or like. But it's just more so like she can. I would never be like, don't talk to him. But like I see it and I'm like, okay, and she can just tell like you're annoyed about it. Like I am, but like I know that I trust you. I don't trust anybody else.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Mark, then I want to know if you and your 4-year relationship have ever had a moment where you're like, I don't know if we're going to get through this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
for
tell.
sure. We and I think because excuse me, we got through it soon after, or not soon after. I would say about almost 8 months later, I proposed.
Made you stronger.
Made us stronger. It was some of my shit too. I'm divorced actually, so leading into this, there was stuff that I did, just knuckleheaded stuff that was stupid. That we had a come to Jesus moment, and we got through it. And I was like, I'm doing this because we are able to get through it. And now it's like we have fights. I'm like, this is not nothing.
Totally.
This is nothing. And because I know what it's like to not only get cheated on, I know what it's like to get divorced. I know all those things. And she's right there with me. So when some of those kind of baggage rears its ugly head, she's been really able to hang with me on it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So I was going to ask Roxy the same question because like you've been on and off with this guy for 3 years now.
Yeah. So truthfully, right now is our moment.
Oh yeah.
Right now is the moment.
Give us the dirt.
No, I mean it's not dirt. It's my life. Like, right. The honest truth is that that's what we're going through right now. We don't know if we're gonna make it. And I love him more than anything in the entire world and he loves me more than anything in the entire world, then that doesn't mean that we're right for each other. So we're going to figure that out.
So what is it? Is it just constant like tension that you just can't get through?
No, we're like absolutely best friends. I mean, anybody who's in this room knows when we interact with each other, it's like it's not tension. I don't think anybody ever is like, ooh, being in the same room with us. We just don't know. We just,
No, because even when you guys are on breaks, you still hang out.
yeah, 100%.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
we live together, so it's like, and we're not. We've never been on a break. Because it's not like I've seen anybody else in the last 3 years, and he hasn't seen anybody else in the last 3 years. But I think that he's a guy. He turned. I know he's a guy. He's turned 30 this year, and I think he's in the middle of like a what is life? How do I end up with one woman? Is that what life is supposed to be? Am I supposed to be in this? And then I question myself, and I question our relationship, and yeah, it has nothing to do with who he is as a person, and I care about him or what I am as a person. It's just kind of where we are in life right now. If we had met 10 years from now, I know it would have worked.
How long have you guys been living together?
We've been living together for a year.
Did it change the relationship?
No, definitely not. Made it like as crazy as it is to say, living together was the easiest thing that ever happened. Like moving in together was a no effing brainer, and it was. We haven't gotten in one living together issue.
How old are you?
27.
Okay, so you don't have that clock ticking feel yet.
I do, totally. Like I don't have a clock ticking in terms of I don't want to get married and have kids, but I want to be with the person that I'm going to be with. I don't care if I get married for another 20 years. Like I'm not somebody I would. If you're going to get married to the person, you're going to spend your life with them. I don't give a shit about getting married. But I don't want to be with the person that I'm not going to end up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You want to find the person you're going to have kids with.
Yeah, definitely. Because I did the single thing, and I could do it again if I had to. I'm pretty good at it. But, like, in terms of being independent, like, I'm somebody, I like to eat by myself. I like to go to the movies by myself. I like to be by myself. But I don't want to because I'm in love with somebody, you know? So, we'll see.
Look at that, kids. We dug deep today.
Seriously.
I saw so many more questions.
Yeah.
We got to do this again.
We have to do it again because, Ashley, thank you for coming in
Oh,
here.
well, thanks
and
for
really
having me.
Diving deep here. Where can the good kids find you all on, say, Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff?
My Instagram is Ashley_Iaconetti, and Twitter is Ashley Iaco, IACO.
And my Instagram is @Jared Haibon, and then my Twitter is @Haibon_Jared. Don't ask why I did that.
And we got to get you. We got to get you back in this in the Schmodown, my man.
Oh, I'm ready, baby. I know.
Ready to go.
The wheel of death for him, man.
wheel of death.
Just can we not do the wheel?
Nope, the wheel's a part of the game.
I'm gonna spin the wheel for you.
Yeah,
Can
there
we
you
arrange
go.
that?
You should do, yeah, definitely.
He has the worst Polish luck
I'm
I've ever
Polish.
found.
Does she support you in this, in the Schmodown stuff? Does she,
Oh,
she's like
big time.
Oh, yeah.
She, you know,
No, I asked this because Lindley came out to see the live show, to see us, and then this weekend we drove up to Valencia. She had watched my future opponent's match and had statistics on a notepad, and she was going over what he's
That's
good at and what he's
intense.
not good at.
Tomorrow, by the way.
Couldn't believe it.
Guy?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Guy,
So we were
Guy
preparing
and
for
Roca.
that.
she gave you stats on Andrew Guy.
Wow, I'm a horrible
That is
fiance.
awesome.
She watched
Yeah.
5,
Guy
6
and
matches.
Roca
Yeah.
go head to head tomorrow. By
Yeah.
the way, on it's a big match. The winner plays William Bibiani for the title. And by the way, speaking of Schmodown, I got to give big love to our buddy JTE. He got himself into a bit of an accident, and he's hurting right now. So he's okay. He's going to recover, and you guys. And there's a way if you go to either his or his lady April's Twitter, you can find out if you can help him out some kind of on some of the mounting hospital bills that they have too. But he's recovering right now, so hopefully we get him back in and we can get him in. Full disclosure here, we did tape his first match before his accident in Anarchy, so that will air. But he will most likely miss the rest of the tournament. So just wanted to let it's a bummer. So wanted to let everybody know. All right, guys. So there you go. That is the show today. I'd like to thank everybody here, Roxy, Mark, Reilly, Roca, the whole crew. Thanks for joining us here today, and we can't wait to have you guys on again. See you guys soon.
Excited for it.
Bye.